Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto turns into a nine-tailed fox kit. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by knownobody and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1, The Lonely Naruto. You will not hurt my kit. October 10th, probably the worst day of the year for a poor 5-year-old blonde orphan. The boy had ocean blue eyes and 3 whiskers on his cheeks. His name was Naruto, and today was his birthday. Naruto sat on his bed crying. Outside he could hear shouts that resembled demon or monster. There was a large amount of pounding on his door as the villagers tried to get in. Why do they hate me so much? Naruto asked himself as the pounding intensified. A rock shattered his bedroom window as it soared inside and landed on the floor. Naruto knew he should have ran for it when he had the chance. But he also knew that they would follow him to wherever he went and beat him there. It was the same every year. The villagers would all form a mob and attack the small boy until the ANBU or the Hokage broke the mob up. What did I ever do? Naruto continued to ask himself as tears began to slide down his cheeks. The pounding on his door became louder. It was apparent that they were trying to knock the door down if it wasn't opened. Naruto cuddled into a ball and closed his eyes, hoping that everything would disappear and that he would wake up from a nightmare. Naruto opened his eyes when he felt a hard damp floor instead of his soft warm bed. He found himself in a large dimly lit dungeon-like corridor. He got up and started to wander around. Hello? He called out into the darkness. There was no reply. Eventually Naruto came across a large room with a huge cage door with a small seal keeping it shut. Inside the large cage was a massive red fox with 9 tails. The fox had black eyes with red slits and many large sharp teeth. Its claws were as sharp as its teeth. The fox was snarling, but Naruto didn't know why. Who are you, and where am I? Naruto asked. The large fox looked down to meet the boy as it suddenly realized he was there. The fox stopped snarling and instead adopted a calm, tender expression. I am Kyubi, and it is my fault that those villagers hate you so, the large fox said in a calm, tender female voice. They hate you because the 4th Hokage sealed me inside you in order to stop me. I'm truly sorry, Kyubi said as she lowered her gaze from the boy. Why did you attack the village? Naruto asked, apparently only paying attention to the fact that the large fox attacked the village. Because I was forced to. A despicable man who doesn't deserve to be named forced me to attack the village hidden in the leaves, thus causing me to be sealed in you, causing your life to become a living hell, Kyubi explained. You deserve so much better than this, my young kid. It wasn't your fault that you're treated like scum. Naruto was dumbstruck. For once in his life someone actually cared for him. Is there any way to set you free? There is, but I won't let you, Kyubi sternly answered. Why not? Naruto asked. Because I don't want to see my kid die, and when I am inside of you I can at least heal your wounds and try to protect you, Kyubi answered. But Naruto started. If you were forced to attack the village, you shouldn't be here, Naruto said as he made his way to the paper seal keeping the gates shut. Naruto began to tear the seal off. But just as he was about to finish, Kyubi wrapped one of her tails around Naruto and pulled him away from the half-ripped seal. Naruto, I stay here not just because I'm forced to, but because I choose to. You are my kit, and I will protect you, the large fox scolded the boy. Naruto gave up and closed his eyes and folded his arms. The next thing Naruto knew, he was back in his room where the villagers were about to burst in. Fear built up inside the boy instantly. Kyubi? Naruto whispered out in fear. Don't worry, kit, I'll protect you, Kyubi's voice said Naruto's head. Naruto could feel a large amount of chakra build up inside of him. The door that separated him from the mob outside finally gave way and the villagers stormed in to attack the small boy. When they reached him in his bedroom, the chakra buildup began to manifest itself into a smaller version of Kyubi. Demon! The villagers cried out in fear. Quick, tell the Hokage that the demon fox is free. Another villager shouted outside. One of the members of the mob, a ninja, a chunin most likely due to the combat vest, approached the mid-sized fox. Well, what do we have here? A demon protecting another demon? How sweet, the ninja said. Really? Just who is the demon here? Me trying to protect my kit? The kit, who is attacked because of something that was put inside him by your 4th Hokage? Or you creatures who attack an innocent boy for something he had no control over? Think about it, just who is the real demon here? Kyubi hissed at the group. How dare you accuse us of being demons when you took countless lives? Just how many lives did you take, demon fox? The ninja spat back. Kyubi growled at the chunin as he took a step closer to Naruto. The real demon here is the boy. He houses the real demon fox, the one that destroyed countless homes and ended thousands of lives. Now we are going to finish what the 4th Hokage started 5 years ago. The chunin said as he began to rush at Naruto with a kunai in his hand. You will not hurt my kit. Just try and see what happens. Kyubi roared as she bit the chunin's arm and threw him back towards the villagers. You'll for that, demon! The chunin yelled as he began to fly through a series of hand signs. Fire style, fireball jutsu. He yelled as a large fireball formed out of his hands. As soon as the fire was formed, it ended as a hand covered the chunin's and flung him back. An old man in a white robe with a red hat stood in between Naruto and the fox and the mob of villagers. He seemed to be in his early 60s. Now I really am ashamed of all of you, you especially Mizuki, the man said to the mob, but to the ninja particularly. Lord Hokage? Why do you defend the demon child? Mizuki asked as he rose his feet. First of all, because he isn't a demon, he is Naruto Uzumaki. Second, because he is a member of this village, same as all of you. And third, because you all do this village great shame for attacking the one person that the fourth Hokage trusted to seal the QB in. It wasn't Naruto's choice to have the fox sealed inside of him, so don't ever attack him like this again, understand? The Hokage yelled. Yes, Lord Hokage, the villagers said as they bowed and left. Mizuki was the last to leave as he shifted a glare between Naruto and the nine-tailed fox that guarded him. Eventually he turned and left, then the Hokage turned to face Naruto. I'm sorry you have to go through this, Naruto. I will personally see to repay any damages, and try to keep this from happening again, the Hokage said with a smile. You better. I will protect my kid, even if it means I have to kill, Kyubi said as she shot a warning glare towards the elderly man. You do well to remember that, she said as she jumped onto Naruto's bed and wrapped herself around the boy affectionately, and also protectively. The Hokage smiled before he turned and left. As he was walking down the streets he turned his attention towards Hokage Rock. Minato, it seems you've given your son a great friend and guardian, but that seal seems to have weakened, maybe I'll have Jiraiya check it, he thought to himself. Chapter 2. Naruto was more than happy to finally have a companion, a friend, a mother, even if it was a nine-tailed demon fox. Kyubi was always with Naruto, whether it be as a chakra manifestation or in his mind. She always protected him from harm, especially from the villagers. After the Hokage stepped in and stopped the mob on Naruto's birthday, the ninja of Konoha haven't bothered Naruto much. In fact, they sometimes tried to be friendly. One ninja, a chunin by the name of Iruka, befriended the orphan and became an almost father figure to him. Sometimes they went out to Ichiraka's ramen shop after a hard day at the academy. The Hokage persuaded Naruto to join the academy so that he may train to become a ninja and earn respect from the villagers. Needless to say, he accepted. Ready to start your first day at the academy? Kyubi asked her kid from inside of him. When Naruto would go to school, she would dissolve her chakra formation and watch over Naruto through his body. I sure am. And when I graduate, I'm going to become the Hokage, so everyone will look up to me and acknowledge me. Naruto exclaimed. That's some dream. Are you sure you want to become Hokage? Believe it. Kyubi laughed at her kid's determination. You'll help me, right Kyubi? Of course I will, you're my kid. Now get going or you're going to be late. Oh right. Naruto said as he realized the time, left his apartment, locked the door, and made his way to his first day at the academy. Naruto ran through the village. Some villagers stared at him in wonder, some angrily, and the rest didn't even seem to notice him. As he ran he barely noticed Iruka walking towards his apartment. Hey Naruto, the man said. I was just on my way to get you, you don't to be late for orientation. Naruto grinned and let Iruka lead him to school. Master Sarutobi, a large man with long white hair, said in respect as he bowed to his old master. What is it that you needed me for? Your message wasn't exactly very clear. Jiraiya, I need you to check a seal, the Hokage said. So you said in your letter? I'm sure it can wait. I have to go continue my research. Jiraiya started as he made for the door. It's the QB seal, the Hokage said, causing the perverted man to stop and turn around. You mean the one that Minato placed on Naruto? Jiraiya asked, suddenly interested. The Hokage nodded. That changes everything. Where is he? By now, he should be at the academy. It's orientation, and he has decided to become a shinobi of the Leaf Village, the old man stated. Really? Is that wise? What if the QB takes over and extracts its revenge on the village? No, I don't think so. The QB made it quite clear that it just wants to protect her kit, Sarutobi said, quoting the demon fox. Her kit? Jiraiya asked, stressing each word. The Hokage nodded. So you've spoken to her? Not face to face, but rather to a smaller chakra manifestation, the Hokage admitted. Jiraiya turned back towards the door. He looked worried. I guess I have to check it then. With that he left, leaving the Hokage behind his desk looking out the window, studying the village. Wow, Iruka, this place is huge. Naruto exclaimed. Iruka smiled at the boy. The two of them were standing in front of the academy. The building was large and decorative. A large banner that read orientation hung across the front of the building. You nervous, Naruto? Iruka asked. Nope, not at all, Iruka. Naruto replied with a grin. Well, you know, once we're inside you have to call me Iruka-sensei, Iruka said, to which Naruto pouted. Well, I already got your paperwork taken care of, so just go and find a spot in the lineup with the rest of the students. Naruto nodded and ran off to the line. You can come out now, Iruka said to no one in particular. A large man with long white hair, a red coat, and a large scroll on his back appeared. Master Jiraiya! Iruka exclaimed upon seeing who it was. Yeah, listen Iruka, I have to check the QB's seal. Lord Hokage thinks it's weakening, Jiraiya said. Iruka nodded. Can it wait till after orientation? Besides, no one is in danger. The QB just wants to protect Naruto, not start a war, Iruka said. Jiraiya's face tense said. Even if it isn't serious, I have to check anyway. And now, fine, Iruka muttered. Naruto! Come here for a second. Iruka yelled to the lineup. Everyone turned their heads. Naruto looked confused but began to walk back to Iruka anyways. Am I in trouble, Kyubi? Naruto asked. No, I don't think so, but for some reason, I smell toads, Kyubi said. She began pondering something while Naruto got closer. Don't worry, kid, you'll be fine, she finally said. When Naruto reached Iruka, he noticed Jiraiya. Hey kid, Jiraiya said as he saw the boy's confused face. Who are you? Naruto asked out of simple curiosity. Jiraiya's face fell. As Jiraiya began to through his long introduction, Iruka stood there hoping Jiraiya won't going to scare his would-be son for life. I am the one, the only, one of the 3 Sannin, the Toad Sage, Lord Jiraiya. Jiraiya said on top of a toad he had just summoned. He looked at Naruto, who still seemed confused. Jiraiya's sweat dropped at the kid's expression. A simple name would have sufficed, Kyubi joked to Naruto, causing him to snicker. Anyway, Naruto, come here for a second, Jiraiya said after shaking off his irritation. Why? Naruto asked warily. It's a ninja physical exam, Jiraiya made up. Naruto shrugged and began to walk closer to the man. When Jiraiya decided he was close enough, he thrusted his palm right onto the seal hidden under his clothes. Jiraiya found himself in the gloomy corridors of the Kyubi's seal and quickly made his way to where the demon fox was. And no way, how could the seal have worn down so much already? Jiraiya asked as he say only the very last part of the seal remained. He then shifted his attention to the large red fox behind the metal bars. Who are you, and why are you here? Kyubi asked. She lowered her gaze to meet Jiraiya's. I'm here to inspect the seal, to which I find it almost gone. I suppose that was your doing, Jiraiya accused. How dare you? Kyubi snarled, much to the surprise of Jiraiya. Why would I want to kill my kit? I'm not like you villagers who kill their own for no good reason. I barely managed to stop the kit from tearing the seal off. Kyubi yelled. Naruto did this? Jiraiya asked confused. Yes, he did, and in order to protect my kid I had to stop him. Just so you didn't die without a vessel? Jiraiya interrogated. As an instant reaction to what he said, Kyubi shot one of her tails out towards Jiraiya, who barely managed to dodge it in time. I love my kit, and would never do anything to harm him. I will protect him from anyone who wishes to harm him, whether it be from ninjas, or his own people. Go tell that to your Hokage, Kyubi said, while still glaring at the Sannin. The next thing Jiraiya knew, he was outside with a still confused Naruto, and a worried Iruka. Jiraiya smiled. You pass, was all he said before disappearing. Iruka let out a sigh of relief. Okay Naruto, go ahead and get back in line, orientation will start soon, Iruka said. Naruto smiled and ran back to the line. Jiraiya, what did you see? The Hokage asked. Jiraiya smirked. It seems as if I don't have to check up on him as much as I thought. Minato sealed a motherly fox into him, Jiraiya said. The Hokage laughed. So it won't try and take the boy over and use him exact her revenge? Nope, it'll probably be the opposite if anything. But he will have an interesting ninja carrier being the vessel of the 9-tailed fox, Jiraiya said. Now if you'll excuse me, I have some research to catch up on, Jiraiya said as he left. I better alert the hospital, Tusnade is still in town, and she'll kill him if she catches him doing his research, the old man said to himself. Chapter 3. Naruto sat in the classroom, which to his surprise was fairly crowded. From where he sat, he could easily see the instructor, as well as out the window in case he began daydreaming. Next to Naruto sat a boy with spiky black hair and 2 red marks on his cheeks. His name was Kiba and he belonged to the Inuzuka clan, which specialized in the use of dogs, much to Kyubi's displeasure. On the other side of him was a boy with sunglasses and a coat that covered most of his expressionless face. His name was Shino and he belonged to the Abdurrahim clan, which specialized in the use of bugs. A few seats in front of him sat a girl with purple hair. She seemed to have no pupils in her eyes. Her name was Hinata, and she belonged to the Hyuga clan, which specialized in the use of their Byakugan. All the way in the front of the room sat a boy with black hair, dark cloths. He had a fan symbol of the back of his shirt. His name was Sasuke, and he belonged to the Uchiha clan, which Kyubi found utterly distasteful. Naruto made a note to ask her about it later. Among the others in the classroom, Naruto couldn't find any others that looked interesting. But at that moment, 2 girls walked into the classroom. One had pink hair and emerald green eyes. She had a red ribbon tied into her hair. Her name was Sakura Haruno. She was determined to be the first ninja from her family. The other girl had blonde hair and wore purple clothing. Her name was Ino, and she belonged to the Yamanaka clan, which specialized in mind transfers. The class was going to begin soon, and Naruto noticed that 2 seats were still empty. At that moment 2 more boys walked into the classroom. One had black hair that was tied behind his head. He had a lazy expression on his face. His name was Shikamaru, and he was from the Nara clan, which specialized in the use of shadows. The other boy had light brown hair, and was a little chubby. His name was Choji, and he belonged to the Akimichi clan, which specialized in human expansion. Kyubi, I don't know if I'm ready for this. What if they attack me? Naruto asked the fox. They won't, kid. Stop worrying, or else you won't any friends. Besides, if they do try anything, they'll regret it, she replied. Naruto smiled at her comforting words. The bell rang and two Chunin walked into the room and stood in front of a large desk. Hello, my name is Irika, and along with my colleague Mizuki here, we will be your teachers from now until you graduate from this ninja academy, Irika said. Both Naruto and Kyuubi recognized Mizuki. Mizuki looked up and saw Naruto up in the seats. Don't tell me we have to teach that demon how to become a ninja? Mizuki whispered so that only Irika could hear him. But Irika chose to ignore him. Unfortunately for Mizuki, due to Naruto's heightened senses, he was able to hear Mizuki as well. How dare that Kyuubi started. Wasn't it you who said not to worry? Naruto asked, trying to calm his motherly fox down. Fair enough, she replied and calmed down. After Irika and Mizuki introduced themselves, they had the class introduce themselves as well. Everyone said their name, their likes, dislikes, hobbies, and dreams for the future. Eventually it came to be Naruto's turn. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen, Irika, and my special friend. I dislike people who judge me before they even get to know me. My hobbies include eating ramen, and taking long walks. As for my future, I'm going to become the next Hokage. That way everyone will look up to me and respect me, Naruto stated proudly with a foxy grin. Irika smiled. Okay, now that everyone has been introduced, we can start. Irika started. After that they began to learn about chakra. That included what it was, how it was used, and how to find it. After the class was dismissed, Naruto watched as all the other kids were picked up by their parents. Eventually he was the only one left. He sat on the lone swing in front of the academy entrance. Ready to go, Naruto? A voice sounded behind Naruto. Naruto turned to see Irika standing behind him smiling. Naruto nodded and the two left, and headed towards Ichiraku's for dinner. When they got there, they both ordered a round of miso pork ramen. As they ate, Irika remembered a conversation he had with Mizuki after the class was dismissed. Irika, I'm not teaching that demon, Mizuki said as he faced the board. Irika knew this was coming. Why not, Mizuki? Irika asked, even though he already knew the answer. Why would I teach the reincarnation of the Kyuubi? Why would I give it the knowledge to finish what it started 5 years ago and destroy this village? Mizuki, Naruto is just a vessel, not the reincarnation. And what about you? You've grown too attached to the demon brat, it'll just be your end. The Kyuubi attacked me personally on demon hunting day. It'll do the same to you, Mizuki. I have met the Kyuubi, and it isn't a bloodthirsty monster, it just wants to protect Naruto, as do I. Irika yelled. Mizuki sighed and shook his head in disbelief. Then you are a fool, Irika, Mizuki stated. As I said though, I will not teach that demon. Yes you will, a voice said behind both teachers. They both flinched in recognition of the voice. They both turned to see their Hokage. Lord Hokage. Both Irika and Mizuki said in unison as they snapped to attention. At ease, the Hokage said. Both Chunin eased up. As I was saying, Mizuki, you will help teach Naruto the ways of a ninja. But Lord Hokage, Naruto is a demon, he could destroy the entire village, Mizuki protested. Naruto is just as much a member of this village than you and I, he has the right to become a ninja, and so I am ordering you to teach him, understood? Yes, Lord Hokage, Mizuki grumbled in defeat. Good, the Hokage said before he left. Mikuzi growled before he too left. I should probably go get Naruto, Irika said to himself. Irika turned his attention from the bowl in front of him to Naruto. Irika-sensei, can Kyuubi come out? Naruto asked with hope in his eyes. I don't see why not, Irika answered. Naruto exclaimed in joy, and seconds later the red fox appeared. Kyuubi? Irika started. The red fox turned her head towards Irika. Is there any way you can alter your appearance to take the form of a human? That would let me travel and protect Naruto without drawing too much attention and causing an uproar. Let me try. The Kyuubi closed her eyes deep in thought, then covered herself in a thick layer of red chakra. When the chakra faded, instead of a fox, stood a woman with red hair, red eyes, and an hourglass frame. She wore a red kimono with red boots and red gloves. There, now I look just like the rest of you villagers, the Kyuubi said with pride. Now then, in order for you to be able to blend in fully, you're going to have to speak out loud rather than through telepathy. And you're going to need a new alias, Irika said. I can help Kyuubi with the talking part. Naruto exclaimed as he shot his hand up. Thank you, Kit, but I think I can handle talking like this, Kyuubi said with a smile. As for the name, how about Kia? She suggested. Yeah, that works. The stand owner came out with another round of ramen when he spotted the woman. What can I get you, miss? The cook asked. I'll just have the same thing as them, Kia replied. The man nodded and went in back to cook some more. The trio had a pleasant dinner, and afterwards parted ways. Irika went back to his own home, while Kia and Naruto went back to Naruto's apartment. Once inside, Kia resumed her original fox form. Well, that was fun. Good night, Kit. I'll see you in the morning, Kyuubi said as she licked Naruto's cheek before curling up and falling asleep next to her Kit. Chapter 4. Wake up, Kit, Kia said softly as she shook the sleeping boy. It's time to get ready for school. You don't want to be late on your second day, do you? Kia asked. Naruto rose from the bed and rubbed his eyes. No, Kyuubi, Naruto replied. He got up and went to go take a shower. Breakfast will be ready shortly, Kia said as she smelled the food cooking in the next room. She walked into the kitchen and flipped the pancakes, stirred the eggs, and poured some milk. She just finished cooking when Naruto came into the kitchen. What smells so good, Kyubi? Naruto asked as Mii sat down at the small table. It's breakfast, she said as she set a plate down in front of Naruto. He looked at it in wonder. But what is it? I know it isn't ramen, Naruto said as he poked the eggs with his fork. Kia sighed and rolled her eyes. Naruto, a healthy breakfast will help you become a stronger ninja, Kia said as she began to eat her own breakfast. Naruto reluctantly agreed and began to eat the food in front of him. This is great, Kyubi, Naruto exclaimed with a smile. Kia smiled back. After breakfast, Naruto gathered what he would need for the school day and left with Kia. Along the way they met up with Iruka. Iruka, I think I'm capable of dropping off Naruto by myself, so why don't you go back to your little classroom, Kia teased. But Kia, what if Naruto is attacked? Iruka asked out of concern. The slits in Kia's eyes narrowed at his words. Then they will feel my wrath, she stated. Iruka flinched at the glare he received. Okay then, Iruka stated in a disappointed and scared manner. Kia shook her head. They never learn, she said, and a light giggle escaped from here. When Naruto gave her a questioning look, she explained. I was only teasing him, she simply said. They both broke out in laughter. The rest of the villagers watched the two of them as they walked by on their way to the academy. They would say things such as, is that Naruto? Somebody finally adopted him. Or even, stupid demon brat, why won't you just die? Kia gave many of them cold glares for what they said, but Naruto was so used to it that he didn't even notice. Kia had to resist the urge to show them just how wrong they were, and what a real demon was. Kia dropped Naruto off at the academy, and promised to pick him up as soon as class was over. She then turned her attention towards Hokage Tower. Iruka and Mizuki both stepped in front of the class as soon as the bell rang. Okay class, today we're going to start off with the story of how the 4th Hokage saved this village by destroying the demon fox Kyubi, Mizuki said. He stared directly at Naruto, who glared at him. Kyubi was never destroyed, just sealed, and it wasn't even her fault. Naruto thought to himself. Why did the Kyubi attack Konoha? Sakura asked. No one knows, Iruka answered, catching on to what Mizuki was doing. Some believe that it was the fox's thirst for blood that brought it here to destroy the village and kill everyone in it, Mizuki stated, while sometimes sending a victorious smirk at Naruto. What is this guy talking about? Naruto thought to himself. He had to resist with all his power not to shout out to Mizuki and tell him the truth. Easy Naruto, you can get through this, Naruto thought to himself. And if it wasn't for the fact that the Kyubi's body vanished as it fell, the village would have cut the demon's head off and strike it through a large spire, Mizuki continued. Iruka-sensei, may I please be excused? Naruto asked as he stood up. Iruka nodded in understanding and watched as Naruto made his way out the door. Kyubi? Are you there? Naruto had to wait a moment for a response. Yes, kid? Kyubi responded in his mind. Mizuki keeps saying bad things about you, and it's making me sick, Naruto said. Don't worry Naruto, he'll get set straight, Kyubi said, filling the boy with confidence. Now get back to class, you won't learn much by standing in the hall. But how did Naruto ask in amazement? Silly kid, Kyubi simply said. Naruto blushed out of embarrassment, as he realized that part of the Kyubi was still inside of him. Naruto went back into the classroom and took his seat. Now then, let's talk about how to find your chakra. Iruka started. Kia made her way up to the Hokage's office entrance, but was blocked by the receptionist. I'm sorry, but unless it's something important, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, the receptionist said. Trust me, this is important, Kia responded. How so? The receptionist asked out of curiosity. That is none of your concern, Kei said with a huff. The receptionist gave up and allowed Kia to pass. Kia walked into the Hokage's office and wasn't surprised to see a large bookshelf, or a neatly organized desk with a very small stack of papers. The Hokage sat in his chair with his head resting on his wrapped hands. Do I know you? The old man asked. Kia smirked. What you mean you don't recognize me? Kia asked playfully as she let her eye slits narrow to show those of a fox. I see you shortened your name from Kyubi to Kia then, Sarutobi said. Kia nodded. Only when I'm in this form, but I came here for a reason, Kia said in a serious tone. The old man raised a brow. First, I've come here for the adoption papers for Naruto. Second, I want access to the Namake's bank account, along with all of his father's possessions. If Naruto is going to become a successful ninja, he's going to need all the help he can get. I can raise him, and help him train, but he'll need the secrets of his clan, Kia said. The Hokage's face darkened. How do I know you won't just use them to free yourself and attack this village? Although I trust you to look after Naruto, I don't know if the village can rely on you, Sarutobi asked. Hook me up to a lie detector if you have to, Kia said. Sarutobi nodded and formed several hand signs in quick succession. He then calmly placed a palm on Kia's forehead. As he moved his hand away, a sign formed where his palm was. This symbol will tell me if you're lying, Sarutobi explained. Kia nodded and signaled Sarutobi to start. First, do you love Naruto? He asked. More than life itself, he's my kid after all, Kia answered. The sign showed no response. Second, do you hold any hatred for this village? Only when they attack Naruto, again, the sign showed no response. Okay, final question. If given the chance, would you be willing to release your full self from Naruto without his consent? Or use him to accomplish your own ends? I would only release myself if it wouldn't kill him, and then I still wouldn't hurt him. Second, I would never take advantage of him, or his rightful belongings to accomplish my own ends. As it did the last couple of times, the sign was unresponsive. Very well then, you passed my test. I will allow you access to Naruto's inherited belongings, and his parents' savings, Sarutobi said as he pulled out Naruto's adoption papers. Kia smiled and walked closer to the old man. Just one more thing, Kyubi, Sarutobi started, causing the girl to look up into his eyes. Take care of him, and don't teach him anything out of his league. Kia smiled as she finished signing the papers and handed them back to the Hokage. I'll personally bring the possessions over to Naruto's home, Sarutobi said, but Kia cut him off. I'm getting Naruto out of that dump and into a reasonable home. That place looks like it's going to fall apart, Kia said as she turned towards the door. Now, if you would excuse me, Naruto is going to be waiting for me. With that she left. As she had promised, Kia was waiting for Naruto as soon as school was over. Upon seeing her, Naruto beamed and ran towards her, and into an embrace. Kia! You actually came, Naruto yelled in delight. Of course I did, kid. I never go back on my word, Kia said. The two of them began to walk away from the academy and towards Naruto's apartment. Kia, Naruto started. Kia looked at the boy with curious eyes. Yes, kid? She asked. I think I like this girl in my class, Naruto said. Kia stopped dead in her tracks. She wanted to hear all of this. Go on, who is she? Kia asked. Naruto looked for a good way to say what he meant in a quick and easy way. Her name is Naruto started. Chapter 5. Well? Come on, who is she? Kia questioned. She drilled her eyes into Naruto's, as if trying to read his thoughts. Naruto began to figure where he stood, as if trying to stall for as much time as he could. Kid, it's okay, you can tell me, Kia said with a friendly smile, but on the inside she was curious to find out who she would have to kill if Naruto came home with a broken heart one day. Actually, there are two of them, Naruto said almost like a whisper. Hinata and Sakura, he finally finished. Kia was pleased to know that Naruto had a crush. It showed that he was actually growing up, but on the other hand, it made her feel on edge. Hyuga and Haruno, Kia said to herself. She made a mental note to remember them. She turned her gaze back to Naruto and smiled at him. Although I'm proud that you have a crush too, nonetheless, I think you might be a little young to worry about girls. Try to become friends with them, then maybe over time you can sort this out, Kia suggested to Naruto. I guess I could try, Naruto said as he thought the process over in his head. Good, now come on, let's get you some proper ninja equipment, and if you're good we can stop at Ichiraku's, Kia said as she led Naruto into the market center. You mean it? Of course. Kia could barely keep up with Naruto as he darted from shop to shop trying to finish as quickly as possible so they could go his favorite ramen stand. Naruto, slow down, she called after him. Naruto stopped and spun around to see a panting Kia catching up to him. She carried all sorts of gear, from kunai to scrolls. Now then, all that's left is your new clothes, she said as she began to search for a clothing store. Here we go, she said, and the two of them walked inside. Hello miss, what can I do for you? The shopkeeper said as he stood behind a counter. Like many of the other shopkeepers, he didn't see Naruto because he was too short to stand over the counter, and if they did they would either ignore him completely or throw him out of the store. Just looking, thank you, Kia responded, devoid of emotion. The only thing she hated more than the villagers attacking Naruto was them completely ignoring him, and this shopkeeper completely ignored him. Naruto had already gone off and was looking through clothes his size. Kia was looking at clothes for herself when she heard an wow sound coming from where Naruto was. She walked over and her jaw dropped as she saw Naruto holding the most ugly orange jumpsuit she ever saw with a large grin on his face. Can we get this, Kia? I really like it, Naruto begged. I guess, Kia managed to say without taking her eyes off of the monstrosity that was uglier than her personality on a really bad day. But why don't you try and find some more clothes while we're here? Naruto nodded and continued to search the store while Kia inwardly puked. By the time they were done, Kia had gotten a few outfits for herself, and Naruto had picked out several outfits, including his jumpsuit. Kia paid for the clothes and the two of them began walking towards Ichiraku's ramen stand with all of their newly purchased belongings. After a few minutes passed, Kia formed a hand sign. A loud puffing sound made Naruto turn around to see three Kias. His jaw dropped in awe as the Kia in the middle handed the bags to the two clones as they began to head back home. Kia, what was that jutsu? Naruto asked. Those were shadow clones, Kia explained. She continued when she saw Naruto's confused face. They're called shadow clones because unlike regular clones, they have bodies and thus shadows, she said as simply as possible. Naruto nodded in understanding. They are taking the stuff to our new home. Naruto turned his head sideways. New home? He asked. Kia sighed. As they walked into the ramen bar, Kia began explaining what she did while Naruto was at the academy. Really? You adopted me? Naruto yelled out in joy. Of course I did, and I even got us a bigger home, with a backyard so you can even train when you're not at the academy, Kia explained. She specifically left out anything that involved Naruto's father. But Kia, where did you get the money? From old man Hokage, of course. Naruto nodded in understanding. Their food was delivered to them, and the two of them ate blissfully. Hey you two, Irika said as he stepped into the ramen stand. He shot Kia a fearful look as if he was afraid she would just kill him on the spot. This made her laugh. Irika, I was just kidding this morning, she said in between laughs. Irika eased up a bit. Irika-sensei. Guess what? Kia adopted me. Naruto exclaimed. Irika smiled in joy, but behind that smile he was a little sad. He wanted to adopt Naruto. That's great, he said to the smiling boy. It's good to see you in good hands. The Hokage was standing in front of the council. The ninja council to his right, the civilian council to his right, and the village elders in front of him. The council had been called together because somehow, they had found out that Naruto had been adopted. Sarutobi, is it true that Naruto Uzumaki has been adopted? One the only female elder asked. Yes, Sarutobi stated. I was not aware that it could pose a problem to the village that an orphan could be adopted, or is this because of some deep hatred towards a poor boy? He should have just been killed 5 years ago. A member of the civilian council yelled out. Numerous voices of agreement could be heard from the civilian council, while the ninja council sounded out in disapproval. Several of the ninja clans had wanted to adopt a Naruto, but knew that if they did, they would lose much prestige in the council, or that they would be seen as demon lovers and would be treated just as badly as Naruto was, if not worse. So what if he got adopted? It's better that way. The Yamanaka clan leader stated. Her clan would have adopted Naruto in a heartbeat if they were given the chance. I agree with the Yamanaka clan head. If Naruto was to be killed at the hands of the villagers, I'm sure the seal would have broken, and without Minato, we would have been able to stop the Kyuubi. Now there's someone who can protect him, the leader from the Nara clan voiced out. But what if the seal wears off anyway? Someone from the civilian council asked. Numerous reports already came in from villagers that a miniature Kyuubi has been spotted. Another voiced out. Probably because of your demon hunting day, the Hyuga clan head said in a calm, emotionless voice. Demon hunting day. The Yamanaka clan head yelled out in anger. It's an official Konoha holiday. A member of the civilian council stated. Then how come none of us have ever heard of it? The Inuzuka clan head asked. The rest of the ninja council nodded in agreement. Because you ninja are always off doing missions, the same voice said. You're so busy doing your missions outside of Konoha that you don't even see the monster lurking inside of the village walls. A loud roar of agreement and applause erupted from the civilian council. The only monsters inside the village walls are the villagers who hunt and attack Naruto for something he didn't do, the clan head from the Akimichi clan said. Naruto killed thousands all those years ago. He left wounds that are still left to heal. A civilian council member said. The Kyuubi did that, not Naruto, the clan head of the Aburame clan calmly. Not only that, but I and my fellow Uchiha noticed that our Sharingan picked up a large amount of genjutsu on the Kyuubi that night, the Uchiha clan head stated. A voice quieted and turned towards him. Many of my clansmen's Byakugan detected the same thing, the Hyuga said. What are you saying? One of the elders asked. We believe that the Kyuubi was forced to attack Konoha, the Uchiha said. A look of shock and fear swept across both the civilian and ninja council. All right, the Hokage said, trying to distract everyone from the disturbing news just announced. Will it appease the civilian council if I put A and B units out to watch Naruto at all times? Several members from the civilian council nodded. Then it shall be done, the council is dismissed, the third elder said. As the council started to disperse, Sarutobi walked over to the Uchiha and the Hyuga. First thing, as soon as we are out of here, I want to talk to both of you, the Hokage said. Yes sir, Lord Hokage, they both said in unison. Kia, this is a house? Naruto asked in shock. In front of the two of them was an entire estate. The backyard composed of a full training ground, and creek flowing over a small waterfall into a small pond. Yup, was all Kia said as she began walking up to the door. Naruto followed right behind her. This is really something, Kia. How did you afford this? Irika asked. He tagged along after their dinner at Ikaraku's. Go ask the old man Hokage, she simply stated. Well Kit, go pick out a room, she said to Naruto, who instantly took off down the halls. When he picked on out, Kia created several clones who raced back to the living room and got all of Naruto's stuff that she brought over from the apartment. In a matter of seconds, Naruto's room was unpacked and organized. What about you, Kia? Where's your room? Naruto asked. Kia waved him off. I can live without, she stated. Then she turned to Irika. You are probably the only person in this entire village besides the Hokage that I can trust to keep Naruto safe, so you may pick out a room as well, she said to him. Really? He stuttered. She nodded, and he began to look up and down the halls. When he found one, he shurishined back to his old apartment to pack his belongings. Naruto, once we get from the academy tomorrow, I'm gonna start training you, so you might want to go and get some sleep now, Kia said. Naruto was about to yell out of excitement until Kia put one hand on his shoulder, and the other his mouth. You really might want to consider sleep, Kit. Now good night, she said as she kissed him on the forehead. She then left Naruto to get to sleep and instead made her way to the front door. She opened the door to see the third Hokage just as he was about to knock. How did you? He asked. You smell like sake. No, you reek of it. I could smell you miles away, she stated. Sarutobi shrugged. Kia stepped aside to let him in. Quiet, Naruto just went to sleep, she said as the Hokage walked inside. Sarutobi pulled out a sealing scroll and handed it to Kia. There are all of Minato and Kushina's belongings that were in the village, and I can already see that you've obviously moved Naruto into the Namikaze compound, he said. Kia nodded. Iruka Shurishine back into the building with several sealing scrolls in his hands. As soon as he saw the Hokage, he snapped to attention. Lord Hokage, sir, he said. Sarutobi turned to face Iruka, then he gave Kia a questioning glance. It's good to have a few trustworthy people around, she simply said. The Hokage nodded in agreement. Now then, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but there are always going to be a squad of ANBU watching Naruto. That was the only way to shut the council up, the Hokage said as he spat the last part out. Who did you put out there? Iruka asked as he joined in on the conversation. Kakashi Hataki's team, the Hokage said. Minato's team? Why them? Iruka asked. Because they knew about Minato and Kushina, and Naruto, so they will be willing to die for their old sensei's son, the Hokage said. Kia raised an eyebrow. Iruka, you are officially part of an S-class secret mission. You have to protect Naruto at all costs, Sarutobi continued. Iruka gasped. Kia's expression didn't change. Yes, Lord Hokage, I will, but why is it an S-class mission? Chapter 6. Iruka, there are forces out there that could try to use Naruto to destroy not only our village, but others as well, the Hokage said to Iruka. Kia stayed silent through their chat. Also, only a select few know that Kia here, Sarutobi started as he motioned towards the human form of the Kyuubi clone, is actually the Kyuubi looking after Naruto, he finished. This select few includes you, Naruto, the elders, Kakashi and his team, and myself. If anyone else found out that the Kyuubi was amongst them, they would panic. But Lord Hokage, Kia is kind and gentle, she wouldn't hurt a fly unless it was for a good reason, Iruka started. Sarutobi nodded in agreement. But it has come to my, the Hokage said before he was interrupted. Naruto, go back to sleep, Kia said. The other two went silent as they heard very faint footsteps and mumbling coming from down the hall. Don't make me come in there. Then they heard a door shut. As I was saying, it has come to my attention that the attack on the village wasn't intentional, was it, Kia? Sarutobi directed towards Kia. No, I didn't even realize what happened until it was too late. I was tricked. When I awoke from that illusion I could smell all the blood, the death, and the smoke. It all came at me in an instant, all because I let my guard down for an instant, Kia explained as she lowered her face from their gaze. I thought so. I was told from the reports that you were attacking in a strange way, almost as if you're fighting an invisible foe instead of the village, Sarutobi said. Did you happen to see who this person who placed you under a genjutsu was? Kia shook her head. No, I didn't. All I remember was getting hit with a barrage of nature-manipulated jutsu, and then poof, I was in Naruto, Kia said. Then she turned her gaze back towards the hallway. I thought I told you to go back to bed, she said as a small blur of yellow ducked around the corner. If you two would please excuse me, she said as she got up and followed Naruto. Well, Iruka, I hope you have a nice evening, Sarutobi said as he got up and started walking towards the door. He stopped and turned back, and if anyone asks, you and Kia are engaged, and you both adopted Naruto. With that he left after hearing Kia shouting from down the hall. I heard that, old man, she yelled, causing Iruka to flinch. Kia turned her attention to the small boy standing in front of her. Kit, why aren't you in bed? I couldn't sleep, Naruto said. Kia smiled before leading the boy back into his room. She set Naruto in his bed and tucked him in, then she transformed back into her fox form and curled up next to him. Within minutes, she could hear his snoring. The next morning Naruto woke up to find him all by himself in his room with his cloths already laid out for him and the smell of breakfast emanating from the kitchen. Naruto went into his bathroom, took his bath, got dressed and headed for the kitchen. Good morning, Naruto, Iruka said as he sat at the table with a stack of pancakes and eggs in front of him. Across from the table Kia sat drinking a glass of orange juice and eating some pancakes herself. Naruto seated himself at the table and ate his breakfast as well. After breakfast, Iruka and Naruto headed off to the academy, which was much closer now. Naruto got to class while Iruka stopped to chat with his fellow teachers about the progress of the students. Naruto watched as both Hinata and Sakura entered at different times. Many of the girls in the classroom gathered around Sasuke, and the rest of the guys sat in the back with Naruto. Naruto noticed as some of his classmates came in happier than usual, especially Ino, Kiba, and Shikamaru. What's up? Naruto asked Kiba as he sat next to him. I don't know, but my mom came home very happy yesterday, so did Ino's mom, and Shikamaru's dad, Kiba answered. Kiba knew why he was in a good mood, but like many others, his parents made him promise not to say. All I can say is that they're happy that a certain someone isn't out on the streets anymore. I know what you mean, Kiba. Hey Naruto, you wanna come play ninja after school with us? Shikamaru asked. I would love to, Naruto started with a grin. But I can't, I gotta train, he finished. Kiba and Shikamaru raised an eyebrow. Okay, maybe next time, Kiba said. Okay, today we're going to run a few laps around the academy for a warm-up, and here to help is one of our very own Jonin, Guy. Good morning to all of you. Come, Let's let our youth burn us away to physical fitness, Guy said as he struck a pose. The entire class groaned in a severe lack of enthusiasm. Sarutobi sat behind his desk, working with every Hokage's favorite task, paperwork. Just when he was about to lose his mind over the never-ending stack of papers, a knock came from the door. Come in, the Hokage said. The door opened and a man with a blue robe came in. Only one of his eyes could be seen, the other side of his face, and much of his upper body were covered with bandages. Good morning, Lord Hokage, the man said as he bowed. Danzo, what can I do for you? Sarutobi said, trying to keep his attention as far away from the paperwork as humanly possible. I have a request if you will, Danzo started. I want you to allow me to take Naruto in and train him en route. Absolutely not, Sarutobi said without hesitation. Why? With the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, you could become unbeatable. I will not allow you to take a small, fragile boy and turn him into an emotionless monster. He already is a monster. All we have to do is point him in the right direction, Danzo jested. No, Danzo, and that's my final answer. And if you even try to bring that up again, I will see to the end of your precious root division. Sarutobi as he willingly turned his full attention back to the pile of papers in front of him. Old fool, Danzo mumbled before exiting. What's got you in such a good mood lately? Sakura asked her running partner Ino. Ino turned her head to Sakura, a smile evident on her face. You wouldn't understand, Sakura, Ino replied. That didn't help Sakura's curiosity one bit. What do you mean? Ino sighed. Okay, try to imagine not having your parents around. It's just you all by yourself. Sakura nodded. Okay, now what? Now imagine someone finally taking you in and begin to love you, something that no one has done for you all your life. Okay, but what does that have to deal with your good mood? Sakura, do you know who Naruto is? You mean the idiot? I guess you don't know him, Ino said with a sigh. Sakura raised an eyebrow. Ino, is there something you're not telling me? Naruto finally got adopted, Ino said with a sigh. What do you mean adopted? What happened to his original parents? They both died the day he was born, Ino replied. The village's council kept any and all of Naruto's secrets safe. The only reason that a select few such as Ino knew anything was because their parents were part of the council. But even there, information was closely guarded. Per Naruto, no wonder he acts like an idiot and gets on everyone's nerves, he just wants attention, Sakura said as she began to feel sympathetic towards the blonde running with Kiba a few rows ahead. Hinata was just in front of Ino and Sakura and heard their entire conversation. Naruto, you finally got a family to call your own now, congratulations, Hinata said to herself as a blush swept across her face. At the head of the pack was Sasuke, who refused to run with anybody, saying that they would just slow him down. The class finally stopped running after 20 laps around the academy, and the only ones left standing ready for more were Kiba, Naruto, and Sasuke. Everyone else was either gasping for breath, or in Choji's case on the ground passed out. I thought he was never going to stop, Sakura managed to say in between breaths. Ino gave a nod in agreement. What a drag, Shikamaru added. Well, it looks like these three have the power of youth on their side. Guy yelled out, motioning towards Kiba, Naruto, and Sasuke. The rest of you can learn something from them, Guy said before shining away. Okay, now for some meditating with Kurenai, Iruka said as he walked outside to join the group. Does that mean we have to do any more exercise? Choji asked. Nope, Iruka answered. He was shocked by the loud applause he received from the tired kids. After Naruto and Iruka went home, they both relaxed for a few minutes before heading into the backyard to find Kia waiting for them. About time, Iruka, did you get lost in the halls? She teased. Iruka smiled, as he was still adjusting to the Kyuubi's teasing. Okay, Kit, show me what you got, Kia said before charging Naruto. Naruto only had a split second to respond, as he pulled out the kunai knife he had in his hands. That was the fastest reaction time I've ever seen from someone so young, Iruka said in amazement. Kia just smirked. Well, it seems you have inherited my blood lineage through the seal, she said. Iruka's eyes shot wide open. Naruto's eyes were just like Kia's, they were blood red with black slits. Now let's get started, she said as she charged at Naruto again. Chapter 7. As time progressed, Naruto and Sasuke were both tied for top ninja of the academy. From appearances, you would think that the two hated each other, but if you actually knew them then you would see that they were best friends. 2 years had passed since Naruto was adopted and started his training at the academy. Naruto had many friends now, Kiba, Shino, Shikamaru, Choji, Ino, and Sakura, Hinata, and Sasuke. Just like always, Kia trained Naruto till he dropped every day he came home from school. The day started out just like the rest, a running exercise with Guy around the academy. Like usual, Naruto and Sasuke were at the head of the pack followed by Shino and Kiba a while behind. By this time, most people could run the distance without dropping, and still keep going. Hey Naruto, think you can keep up? Sasuke said to his running mate. Naruto grinned back at the Uchiha. Can you? He said back. Guy looked back to see how everyone was doing. He saw that Naruto and Sasuke were right behind him, while everyone else was at least 50 yards back. This brought a smile to his face as he saw just how far they had come so far. I still can believe how strong those two are, Sakura said with a blush. I know what you mean, Sakura, Ino said. What do you think, Hinata? Why? Hinata stuttered. She was too busy admiring Naruto to even pay attention to their conversation. As Hinata continued to stutter, Ino let out a giggle. You might want to pay more attention to other things besides Naruto, Ino suggested. Sakura took that hard. Hinata likes Naruto as well? Sakura thought to herself. A determined look appeared on her face. I won't lose to you. After the running exercise, they went to go work on chakra control with Kurenai like they usually did. This is where Naruto had difficulty due to his enormous chakra pool, but that didn't mean he never got the hang of it. Okay class, let's see how much you have learned, Irika said after their session with Kurenai. How about a couple of sparring matches? He suggested to Mizuki. Mizuki nodded in agreement. Alright, let's start with Naruto and Sasuke, he said. Naruto and Sasuke stepped forward and faced each other. Don't expect me to go easy on you just because we're friends, Naruto said. I was just about to say the same thing, Sasuke replied with a smirk. Let's see just how much the Kyuubi has taught you, Naruto, Irika said to himself. Come on Sasuke, crush the demon, make it eat dirt. Mizuki said to himself. Come on Naruto. Sakura yelled. You can do it Naruto. Hinata yelled. The two kunoichi turned to glare at each other. Their glares were interrupted as the two ninja in training charged towards each other. Naruto and Sasuke both charged at each other with kunai knives. The metal clashed, sending sparks in all directions. The two of them jumped back away from each other. Naruto threw his kunai at Sasuke, who blocked it by throwing his own. Sasuke went through a series of hand signs and took a large inhale of air. Fire style, fireball jutsu, he said while casting a large fireball at Naruto. Naruto jumped out of the while going through his own series of hand signs. Water style, water shuriken jutsu, Naruto said. Several shuriken made of water appeared in Naruto's hands as he threw them at the fireball that was looming ever closer. The shuriken cut straight through the fire and headed straight for Sasuke. Sasuke had to cut his jutsu and jump to avoid getting hit by the attack. That did come in hand, thanks Kia, Naruto thought to himself as he remembered some of his training with Kia. Okay Naruto, let's see what your chakra affinities are, Kia said as she held a piece of paper up to him. Huh! Was all Naruto responded with. Kia sighed. By channeling your chakra through this paper, you can find out what nature manipulations you are best suited for, she explained. Naruto nodded in understanding before taking the paper in his hand and tried to channel his chakra through it. The paper instantly split in two straight down the middle. Naruto smirked, even though he had no idea what that meant. Before he handed the paper back to Kia, both strips became soggy and began to droop onto their sides. Interesting, you have both a strong wind and water affinity, Kia said as she went deep into thought. Okay, seeing as how fire beats wind, and the majority of the ninja in this village had fire manipulation, I'll teach you water manipulation. Really? Naruto asked excitedly. Kia nodded. But first you have to separate your water chakra from your normal chakra, otherwise this won't work, Kia said as she walked over to a tree and picked off a leaf. Here, try to pull all of the water out of this leaf, she said as she placed the leaf in his hand. How do I do that? Naruto asked looking at the leaf on his palm. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. Oh, you can't use my chakra for this either, Kia said as she sat down on a rock and watched Naruto as he tried to pull the water out of the leaf. The rest of Sasuke and Naruto's class watched the two combatants in awe as they threw one attack after another at each other. Mizuki and Irika had dumbfounded looks on their faces. Kia taught him water manipulation. Irika thought to himself, those two aren't even 10 yet, and they can preform nature manipulation? Mizuki said to himself, wow, that's so cool. Kiba said out of excitement. Akimara added a rarf in agreement. Sasuke threw 3 kunai at Naruto, who jumped out of the way. Sasuke ran up and kicked Naruto just as he landed, but Naruto grabbed his leg and threw him to the ground. Both of the boys got up, obviously tired from their fight which has lasted close to a half hour now. Out of chakra yet? Naruto asked in between gasps for air. Nope, I'm just getting warmed up, Sasuke managed to say. Naruto grinned, before he threw more shuriken at Sasuke. Sasuke barely blocked all of them with his kunai knife, then he charged the blonde. You're gonna have to do better than that, Sasuke yelled. Naruto pulled out another kunai knife and charged towards Sasuke. You mean like this? Naruto teased. Again, the two knives clashed sending sparks in all areas. Both boys were on the verge of dropping as they had used too much chakra in their jutsu in the beginning of the fight. Okay, that's enough, I call this match a draw, Irika said as he called the match to an end. Irika could have sworn he heard a growl erupt from Mizuki, but let it go. Kia, I thought I asked you not to teach him anything serious, the Hokage said as he watched the match from his office window. Behind him was a teenager with black hair and lines running down his cheeks from his nose. Itachi, your little brother is quite the fighter, you must be proud. Sarutobi was answered with silence. So has it really gotten this serious? I'm afraid so, Lord Hokage. At midnight tonight the clan usurpers are going to try and kill you, and conquer the village, Itachi said. And how many of the Uchiha are still loyal to the village? Sarutobi asked. About a third of the clan, Itachi answered. Then I want you to gather them together and eliminate the usurpers. It will be done, Lord Hokage, Itachi said before bowing and shining away. Next up will be Irika, started as he began to look through the crowd of eager kids. Sakura Haruno, and Hinata Hyuga, he finished. The two kunoichi glared eagerly at each other before stepping to where Sasuke and Naruto had been just moments before. Sakura didn't waste time as she put Hinata into a genjutsu. What's happening? Hinata asked herself as she found herself in a field of flowers. She turned and saw Sakura and Naruto hugging off in the distance. Genjutsu! Hinata exclaimed. She immediately dispersed the genjutsu just in time to see Sakura charge at her. Instinctively, Hinata focused her chakra to her eyes. Byakugan, she muttered. What the? Sakura muttered as Hinata opened her eyes to reveal pure white eyes with veins bulging from either side. Hinata took up a fighting stance as Sakura was about to punch her in the face. Hinata lightly tapped the tips of her fingers on various spots on Sakura's arms before she got hit in the face and sent to the ground. Irika waited patiently to see if Hinata would get up. As Hinata rose, she wiped the blood off from under her nose. Sakura tried to place her under another genjutsu. What? What's going on? I can't build up my chakra, Sakura thought to herself. She looked up and saw Hinata smirk victoriously. You cut off my chakra, how? She asked. Gentle fist style, was all Hinata replied with. You've lost, Sakura, she said. Sakura growled as she admitted defeat. The rest of the matches went off without a hitch. When school was over, Naruto ran up next to Sasuke, who looked depressed. What's up, Sasuke? Naruto asked. Sasuke sighed before replying. My whole clan has been arguing for some time now. I'm afraid it might escalate into a fight, Sasuke replied. Naruto stared at the Uchiha before giving him a grin. Don't worry about it. Kia and Irika argue all the time, but they never fight. I'm sure you have nothing to worry about, Naruto said as he tried to cheer his friend up. Thanks, Naruto, Sasuke said as he smiled. I should probably be heading home now, Sasuke said as he started walking towards his home. Hey! I have a great idea, Naruto exclaimed. Sasuke turned around to face his best friend. You should totally come over to my place for dinner. Kia makes amazing ramen, Naruto suggested. Okay, as long as it's okay with you, Sasuke said as he followed Naruto to meet up Irika, who was waiting for him. Irika-sensei? Hello, Sasuke, Irika said to the Uchiha. He turned to Naruto. I take it Sasuke will be joining us? Naruto nodded with a large grin. Then let's get going. Kia was already preparing an extra plate for dinner, as she smelled Irika and Naruto return with someone else. Naruto, how was school? She asked as soon as she heard the door open. Naruto bounced into the kitchen with an eager look on his face. Kia, is it okay? Naruto started. Yes, it is, just don't let him get into any trouble, Kia answered, already knowing what the boy was going to ask. Naruto jumped up in joy before running off again. Kia sighed as the sound of footsteps began to echo all over the compound. Wait, Naruto, why do you live in the Namake's compound? Sasuke asked. Naruto shrugged. Every time I asked Kia that, all she would say is don't worry about it, Naruto replied. Sasuke accepted that answer and continued to let Naruto give him a tour of his home. When they came to the backyard as Naruto called it, Sasuke's jaw dropped. This is a backyard? Yeah, why is it too big? Sasuke nodded, making Naruto scratch the back of his head. Hey, come on, it's almost supper time, Naruto exclaimed. Sasuke nodded in agreement and followed Naruto to the dining room. There Naruto, Sasuke, Irika, and Kia all shared a nice peaceful meal together. Kia, like always, teased Irika for no good reason except for the amusement. Naruto and Sasuke both laughed at this. After dinner, Naruto and Sasuke both went to work off some excess energy while Kia watched over them. Irika was sulking in his room trying to hold on to what was left of his dignity. I have to go, Naruto, see ya, Sasuke said as he ran from the Namake's compound and back to the Uchiha compound. The sun had set hours ago. I bet everyone is worried about me, Sasuke thought to himself. When Sasuke finally entered the Uchiha compound, he went wide-eyed. Blood covered the streets and buildings. Scorch marks, kunai, and shuriken were everywhere. Bodies were scattered all over the place as if a large and chaotic battle took place. He immediately ran to his house, hoping his brother and parents were okay. Kia was standing on the roof of the estate, as the wind blew around her. Kia? What is it? Irika asked as he jumped onto the roof next to her. I smell blood, lots of it, coming from the Uchiha compound, Kia responded. She went wide-eyed instantly. Go protect Naruto now, she ordered Irika, who instantly realized the seriousness in her voice and shined away. As soon as Irika left, a figure appeared right in front of Kia. Hello, Kyubi dear, I've been looking for you, the man said. Chapter 8. What do you want? Kia hissed at the man standing in front of her. The stranger was completely hidden in darkness of the night. All that was visible was his Sharingan eyes. What? An old man can't see an old acquaintance anymore? The man asked. Madara, I've had enough of you to last a lifetime. Kia yelled at the Uchiha in front of her. I suppose you're the cause of all that bloodshed over there? Kia asked when she realized that he wasn't going to be scared away. Well, actually I didn't, to tell you the truth, Madara said as he turned his head in the direction of the Uchiha compound. I have no idea why they're fighting, but that's not why I'm here. Kia raised a brow at his statement. Well, speak your business and go, she said. I actually came here to warn you, Madara started. Kia became even more tensed if it was even possible. Protect your Jinchuriki. I have a bad feeling about the future. Something bad is going to happen, he finished. That's all you came here for? I already knew that. She yelled at the man. Oh, and by the way, congratulations on finally finding your Jinchuriki, Madara said with a laugh. Kia's eyes flashed with anger. I'd love to see the boy. Where is he? Madara asked as he started to scan the building with his Sharingan. Oh Kyubi, you've gotten careless, you've been sealed. But hold on, if you're sealed inside the boy, then he said as he went into thought. Oh very clever, he removed enough of the seal to let you freely come and go between his body and the outside world as long as you leave something behind. When Madara began laughing again, Kia lost it. Her anger had been building up until it hit the boiling point. She built up her chakra into her right arm until it formed a large red claw. She then swept her claw at the unsuspecting Uchiha who was still laughing. The edges of the claw connected with the left side of Madara's face and sent him flying through the air with a few boards from the ceiling going with him. Bastard, was all Kia said before she went to Naruto's room to make sure he was okay. The next morning, Kia was making breakfast with Naruto who wanted to help this time. Iruka was still tense about last night, but he knew better than to try and bring it up. It feels so good not to be being watched, Kia said with a smile. Iruka raised a brow. Those ANBU aren't out there today, she said. What did you say? The Hokage asked the man behind a dog mask. Behind the dog ANBU stood three more. A monkey, a cat, and a hawk. Someone managed to slip past us and get into the Namake's compound, the dog ANBU said. How far did they get? Sarutobi asked. The roof of the Namake's estate. The Kyubi stopped him, but they didn't fight, they talked. What about? The infiltrator said something about a Jinchuriki, the hawk ANBU said. Sarutobi narrowed his eyes and looked at the cup of coffee in front of him. That is troubling. The only ones who know that the Kyubi found her Jinchuriki were the sum of the council members and myself, and none of them would be foolish enough to go straight up to the Kyubi and talk openly about that, Sarutobi said. Lord Hokage, what exactly is a Jinchuriki? The cat ANBU asked. A Jinchuriki is the person who is to one day replace their prospective Biju. Normally this would be a time to celebrate, but under the circumstances of how the Kyubi found Naruto, this could be bad if the villagers found out, Sarutobi explained. Replace the Biju? The hawk ANBU asked. Sarutobi nodded. The Biju are not really the demons that everyone makes them out to be. They are actually more like the protectors of this world. They keep balance and peace. If a Biju is somehow killed, then the Jinchuriki automatically takes its place as a Biju. But if the Jinchuriki dies, then that Biju's line is over. The Biju replace themselves so that they may eventually rest and pick up the lives they left behind when they were Jinchuriki. So Naruto is to be the next Kyubi? The dog ANBU asked. That's right, Sarutobi said. As the students were walking into the classroom, everyone was muttering rumors about the Uchiha massacre that happened overnight. The rumors continued and continued to grow until Sasuke entered the room. The whole class went quiet, and all eyes were on him, the last of the Uchiha. Sasuke silently walked over to his seat and sat down. Naruto instantly got up and sat next to him. Sasuke, are you alright? Naruto asked. Sasuke didn't reply. Sasuke? They all fought, and died, Sasuke barely managed to say before tears began to slide down his cheeks. I came home to see the aftermath of their fighting, and my brother Sasuke said in between sobs. Itachi killed my parents, he finished. Naruto stared at him in awe. No way! Naruto said. Sasuke looked up at him. I saw them dead, Naruto, Sasuke said, thinking that's what he meant. Naruto said. Don't let the despair take you, fight it. Naruto said. What do you mean? The Sasuke I know wouldn't let anything get him down, not even this. Naruto yelled. Everyone in the classroom stared right at him. Or are you too much of a coward to accept that they're gone? Naruto asked with a hint of annoyance. That got to Sasuke. He nodded and wiped away the tears. Thanks, Naruto, you're right, I have to be strong, he said as he gave his best friend a smile. Naruto grinned back. A few seconds later Iruka walked into the room. Okay class, we're officially done with the basics, and now we'll be moving on to learning more effective jutsu and how to work as a team, Iruka said. Choji rose his hand. Yes, Choji? Does this mean we're not running today? He asked. That's right, Iruka said. He was greeted with a loud applause from half of the class. Well, let's get started. Chapter 9. Kia sat on the couch in the living room of the compound. What did Madara mean last night? She thought as she remembered the previous night. The image of Madara turning his head back to face her, telling her to protect Naruto wouldn't leave. Of course I'll protect him. I would even if he wasn't my Jinchuriki. Bah! She said as she rose and left the living room. I'll go crazy if I keep thinking about this. She went to the backyard and formed several clones. The best way to get this off my mind is with a good workout, she said to herself. The clones formed a circle around her before charging one at a time. She defeated the first clone without any difficulty, but the second one managed to scratch her with a kunai knife across the cheek. I'm out of shape, Kia said with a sigh as her healing abilities healed the scratch in seconds. She decided to give herself more of a challenge. Instead of using Hei eyes, she closed them and decided to rely on her hearing. Her clones caught on to the idea and tried to attack as silently as possible. After a few more minutes, Kia stood alone smirking with a victorious face. She defeated her clones with only a few lucky hits getting through. She summoned several more clones and repeated the process using her other senses. The most difficult one was her sense of touch, but she was able to overcome her opponents. She was about to start the same exercise over, but with double the amount of clones. However, she picked up a new scent entering the vicinity. "Can I help you?" she asked as the Hokage landed a few yards behind her. "Yes, I actually came to talk about your Jinchuriki," Sarutobi said. As soon as the words left his mouth, he felt a kunai knife touch his neck, an intense killer intent coming from behind him. The Hokage's eyes went wide as he realized that in an instant the Kyuubi got behind him and had him in a death hold. "That's thin ground you're walking on," Kia said. "Be careful with what you say," she said as she released the old man. "Yes, well, what I meant is I was wondering if Naruto was in any danger," the Hokage said as he rubbed his neck where the knife was just a moment ago. "No, he's fine, but if anyone would even dare to try," Kia said as she finished the statement by throwing her knife at a tree. Upon contact, a giant hole tore through the tree as the knife went straight through it. "I see. Well then, do you know who that was last night?" the Hokage asked. "This is going to be a long day," Kia thought. "I hope yours is going better, Kit. Come on, let's get something to drink," Kia said as she began to walk back inside the large house. The Hokage followed silently. Naruto was placed on a team with Sasuke and Sakura. Their objective was simple, all they had to do was capture the flag that belonged to Hinata, Kiba, and Shino. They were located on Training Ground 1, used for school training. They were currently hiding in some bushes, using short-range communicators to keep in contact. Each one of them was at least 30 yards away from each other. Kiba was standing near his team's flag, with Akamaru laying on his head trying to smell Naruto and his team. Shino was standing on a tree branch, and was using his bugs to try and find them as well. Hinata stood the closest to their flag as she used her Byakugan to find their opponents. Shino and Akamaru were having difficulties because Sakura had managed to find some herbs that helped cover their scent, so their only threat was Hinata's Byakugan. Hinata formed a hand sign to focus her chakra. "I have to find them, hopefully by increasing my range I can locate them," Hinata thought to herself. Slowly the range of her Byakugan started to increase. "This is harder than I thought. Sasuke, do you see an opening?" Naruto asked Sasuke through the comlink. "No, I don't," Sasuke replied after a few moments. "How about you, Sakura, do you see an opening?" "No," Sakura said regretfully. The training ground fell into an eerie silence for a few moments. "I guess I'll have to make an opening then," Naruto said. Before any of his teammates could protest, Naruto threw several smoke bombs towards Hinata. "What the?" Kiba said as he, Shino, and Hinata were covered in a thick layer of smoke. Hinata could still see perfectly as the smoke did nothing to mask a person's chakra. Shino remained silent as his emotionless face was slowly masked by smoke. "Okay, I'm going in, Sasuke, knack me up, Sakura, go get their flag while we distract them," Naruto said into the comlink. "Right," Sasuke and Sakura said at the same time. Naruto burst from his hiding spot, using the smoke he created to hide his approach. Seconds later, Sasuke followed Naruto's example. Within seconds Naruto's fist made contact with Kiba's nose, while Sasuke's kick made contact with Shino's back. Sakura carefully made her way behind Hinata. However, unfortunately for her, Hinata knew exactly where she was. Before Sakura could grab the flag, Hinata spun around creating a field of chakra that kept her away. "You won't get the flag that easily," Hinata exclaimed. Sakura had to jump back in order to avoid getting struck with Hinata's attack. "Drat, Sakura got caught," Naruto said as he avoided a punch from Kiba. Naruto formed a series of hand signs and built up chakra. "Water shuriken jutsu," he said as he threw the water shuriken towards Kiba. Kiba had to jump out of the way to avoid the attack. Naruto used this as an opportunity to go and help Sakura. Sasuke was busy using his fur ball technique to burn the bugs that Shino was sending towards him. After the third wave, Sasuke was gasping for breath. Shino was tired as well. Sasuke threw a kunai knife at Shino, who used his bugs to stop it in the air. "So basically, all that drama over here last night was pointless?" the Hokage asked the Kyuubi in her human form as he drank some tea. "Pretty much." "But what was with all the bloodshed from the Uchiha compound?" Kia asked. Sarutobi raised an eyebrow. "How did you know about that?" "Why do you think I was on the rooftops last night? I couldn't get away from the smell of blood, it was everywhere," Kia stated. "It was an Uchiha civil war. Several members of the clan were planning on overthrowing the village. But luckily a portion of the clan was loyal to the village and tried to stop them," the Hokage explained. Kia's eyes winced. "Uchihas and bloodshed, why do the two fit together so well?" she thought out loud. Sarutobi agreed with a light chuckle. "Your guess is as good as mine," he said. "On another note, Naruto has been doing very well at the academy," and he started. "I already know that," Kia interrupted him. "So Naruto has been telling you all about it?" "Yes, but I already know because I can see through his eyes at all times. I am still sealed inside after all," Kia said as she went to take another sip of tea. "Is there any way to release you from the seal without killing Naruto?" "There is, but I'm not going to tell him how, at least not for a while." "Why not?" "As long as I'm sealed inside him, I can protect him and train him. I can be his eyes when he cannot see and be his ears when he cannot hear." "I understand," the Hokage said as he set his now empty glass down. Kia refilled his cup as well as her own. So what exactly will happen when Naruto becomes Kyuubi? I go back to the life I used to live, a member of the Whirlpool village, Kia said with a smile. But the Whirlpool village was destroyed years ago, the Hokage said with a bit of sadness in his voice. What? Kia exclaimed. A few days after Naruto was born, and Kushina died, we sent a messenger to the Whirlpool village to let them know of Kushina's fate, Sarutobi started. Okay team, we're almost there, a girl in her late teens said. She had blonde hair and wore a Chunin vest. Next to her was Kakashi on one side, and Guy on the other side. They were jumping through trees in order to get to their destination faster. Right, all we have to do is deliver the message to the Kage of the Whirlpool village, and we can be on our way. And you did remember to bring the message this time, right Rin? Kakashi asked. Of course I did, Rin replied. Great. Then let the flames of our youth burn our path to the village, Guy said. You go have fun with that guy, just leave me out of it, Rin said. Kakashi laughed at this, something that was rare for him to do at the time. Ahead of Minato's old students, Guy stopped dead in his tracks, a look of awe on his face. Kakashi and Rin joined Guy as he stood motionlessly. Rin cupped her mouth with her hands in shock and Kakashi's one eye shot open. If it were possible to see the rest of his face, a look of terror would be seen. A few kilometers ahead of them stood the remnants of the village hidden in the whirlpools. The giant walls that were meant to protect the village were crumbling under the pressure caused by giant rock formations that seemed to have rose from the ground just to smash the sides of the wall. The rivers and lakes that usually had formations of whirlpools were now barren and dry. The village itself was burned in several places, torn apart, crushed, and soaked to the point of collapse in other parts. There were signs of bloodshed and fighting all over the area, but no signs of the bodies or of any survivors. Quickly! Search for any survivors, Kakashi said as he dashed towards the ruins as fast as he could. Right, Rin and Guy said as they followed their teammate. After hours of searching through the village, they turned buildings over, searched everywhere, and even searched the surrounding area for any signs of life. They all returned empty-handed and with horrified faces. What could have possibly happened here? Rin asked. Either a very unlikely series of unfortunate events, or an army of nature manipulation experts, Kakashi said. We should get back to Konoha and inform Lord Hokage immediately, Guy exclaimed. His teammates silently agreed and together the team left back to their own village, all of them trying to erase the image of the ghost village behind them. Kia sat in her seat, a horrified expression on her face. The Hokage noticed her expression. I'm so sorry to have to tell you this, even worse now that it's been so long, he started. No, it's Kia managed to say before tears came to her eyes. How? How could the village just be destroyed? How could there be no survivors? It's impossible, she thought to herself. Do you have any ideas as to who might have committed such an atrocity? We thought it could have been Orochimaru at first, but even he doesn't have that much power, the Hokage said. Could it really be one of them? No, it couldn't be, they all died off a long time ago, and even if they didn't, they swore allegiance to the Bijou. They couldn't possibly cause such destruction on a large scale unless a Bijou or Jinchuriki was endangered, but none was, so it couldn't be one of them, Kia thought to herself. Are you alright? Sarutobi asked. I just need some time to let this sink in, Kia replied. I understand, the Hokage said as he stood up and left. At least you managed to get out in time to have Naruto, my sweet granddaughter, Kia said as she picked up an old picture frame of Minato and Kushina. Chapter 10. 3 years later, Konoha hadn't changed a bit, the days were peaceful, the weather was beautiful, but down at the Namake's estate, a blonde was on his knees, gasping for air. He was exhausted while a woman with long silky red hair stood over him. Naruto's training has become intense as Kia decided to up his training. Every day he wasn't at school, he was at home going through vigorous training. Take a 5-minute break, Kia said as she sat down in front of Naruto. Naruto only replied with sharp gasps for air. Then we'll get back at it. You said you have to make clones in order to pass the test, so we're gonna make clones. We've been at it all day, Naruto started. And the closest you've got to is a pathetic piece of trash, Kia finished for him. Naruto lowered his eyes. I think I might know the problem, Kia said, causing Naruto to look up. I think you have too much chakra, and your control isn't good enough to channel it. So? Naruto asked, not understanding what she meant. Kia sighed. This means you channel way too much chakra into a jutsu that requires only a little amount. If the clone jutsu receives too much chakra you get a dud, like the ones you've been producing all day, but if it receives just the right amount then, Kia said as she formed a hand sign. A clone appeared right next to her. You receive a perfect copy, her clone finished. So what am I gonna do? Naruto asked out of curiosity. Kia smirked, causing Naruto to sweat drop. She mentioned for him to follow as she turned back to the house. What did I just get myself into, he asked himself. Kia led him into the study where numerous books and scrolls lined the long shelves. A large desk stood in the corner of the room. A small lamp sat on the desk. A glass table stood in the center of the room surrounded by a few chairs. The red walls and carpet were lit by a few lights lining the walls and sitting on the table in the center of the room. A small lamp sat on the desk. Ah, here we are, Kia said as she pulled a scroll and laid it on the table. She unraveled it to reveal instructions for a jutsu. This will help you. Since you cannot create normal clones, you're going to create shadow clones, Kia said. What's the difference? Naruto asked. Regular clones have no bodies, they are just illusions, but shadow clones have real bodies, you can actually touch them. They can interact with the area and help a lot more in fights, Kia explained. I believe that shadow clones will be better for you because they divide your chakra evenly between the clones, meaning that chakra control isn't as important. Let's get started then, Naruto said with a smirk. He began to study the scroll intently, running over the instructions numerous times. Okay, time to try it, Naruto said with a sigh. He readied himself and began to form a single hand sign. Shadow clone jutsu, he said as he channeled his chakra into the jutsu. A loud poof sound came as 7 large puffs of smoke appeared out of nowhere. The smoke cleared to reveal a total of 8 Narutos. There you go, 7 exact clones. With this technique, I'm sure you'll pass, Kia said with a smile. Naruto beamed back at her. Now come on, let's go to Ichiraku's. Yeah! Naruto exclaimed. He released the jutsu causing the 7 clones to disappear in another loud poof. The 2 of them left the large estate just as Irika was walking in. He had an exhausted look on his face. Rough day? Kia asked. Was all Irika replied with. Come on Irika-sensei, let's go get some ramen. Naruto said as he began to tug on Irika's sleeve. Irika sighed and turned around. Alright, let's go, he said as he seemed to gather energy from nowhere. Mizuki was sitting in his apartment. The walls had a pale gray color. The furniture was simple, nothing special, just a couch with a table in front of it in the living room. That demon is becoming a problem, no matter how hard I try, it always manages to pass, or get out of danger. Why can't it just die? Mizuki thought to himself. He began to think of a way to eliminate Naruto, without drawing too much attention. If only there was some way I could fool Naruto into getting into a lot of trouble, enough trouble to get him hunted by the village ninja. Yeah, then I won't get in trouble if I kill him. But how could I make that work? That's it, he exclaimed to himself as an idea struck him. Demon brat, your days are numbered, Mizuki said to himself as he began to plan his method. The next day Naruto was early to school. However, it didn't take long for Sasuke to arrive. Hey Sasuke, Naruto said as his friend approached. Hey Naruto, Sasuke replied. You ready for today? He asked. You bet. I can't wait, Naruto exclaimed. I wonder who I'll be paired up with today, Naruto thought out loud. Don't worry about it, whoever you're with you'll do fine, just like me, Sasuke said with a smirk. I can't believe we're graduating in 3 days, he said as his smirk disappeared. Yeah, then we get put on our teams, Naruto said. At that point Hinata arrived. Oh, hello Naruto, she said as a blush appeared across her face. Hi Hinata, Naruto said with a smile. Are you okay? Naruto asked. Hinata snapped out of her blush and looked at Naruto. Oh, I'm fine, Hinata waved it off. Well, okay, if you say so, Naruto said quietly. Clueless, Sasuke said quietly with a light chuckle. Hey Naruto, Sasuke, Hinata, Sakura said as she arrived. She said Hinata's name coldly, as if it were hostile. Hey Sakura, both Naruto and Sasuke said. Hinata just glared at the pink-haired girl. The 4 of them went inside and took their seats. Naruto and Sasuke together with Hinata in front of Naruto, and Sakura behind him. Eventually the rest of their class began to show up as well as their 2 teachers. Okay, today will be simple, all we're going to do is test you on your transformation jutsu. After that, you may go home, Mizuki said. Really? Kiba asked. That's right, consider it a treat for being this close to graduation, Irika said. The class erupted with applause. Okay, let's start with Shino, Irika suggested. One by one, everyone came up and tested, all of them passed. When the class was dismissed everyone went their separate ways. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Hinata all decided to hang out together. The 4 of them were walking down one of the many streets of Konoha. The sun was shining brightly and there were few clouds in the sky. A gentle breeze blew through the village. So what do you guys want to do today? We have the whole day to ourselves, Sakura asked. She wore her red kimono with her black shorts underneath. Her kunai holster was attached to her waist. Her hair blew slightly in the wind. A smile was embedded on her face. I don't know, what do you guys want to do? Sasuke said. He wore his usual clothes, his blue jacket with a red and white fan on the back. He wore his white shorts and had his kunai holster tied to his left leg. He had a relaxed expression on his face. His hands were in his pockets as he walked with the rest of the group. I don't know, Hinata said quietly. She wore her usual white coat and purple sweatpants. Her kunai holster was tied to her left leg. Her hands were behind her back as she walked alongside Naruto. A deep blush was on her face, while she smiled. We could all go and get some ramen, Naruto suggested. He was wearing his orange jumpsuit, which, no matter how many times Kia tried, she could not get rid of. His kunai holster was tied to his left leg. His whisker marks had become darker than from when he was little. His hair had become more spiky and his eyes were still a deep blue. His hands were held behind his head as he walked with a large smirk on his face. That doesn't sound too bad, Sasuke said. It's a great idea, Naruto, Hinata said shyly. I couldn't have come up with a better idea myself, Sakura said with a smile, earning a glare from the Hyuga. All of a sudden a woman with long red silky hair, and was dressed in an elegant red kimono, appeared on the closest rooftop. Her arms were folded across her chest. She had a look of urgency on her face. Guys, I have to go, Naruto said as he jumped onto the rooftops to join her. As soon as he joined the women, the two of them darted off towards Naruto's home. Who was that? Sakura asked. That was the person who adopted Naruto, Sasuke answered. Adopted? Hinata asked. Sasuke nodded. Like me, Naruto is an orphan. Only he never had any parents to begin with, Sasuke said. Both Sakura and Hinata were taken aback by this. How do you know that? Hinata asked. Because I've had dinner with them before, Sasuke answered. It was actually very fun, they get along very well together. Wow, both Sakura and Hinata said simultaneously. Did either of you two know tomorrow is Naruto's birthday? What? Sakura exclaimed. I'm so stupid, I've been in love with him for over 3 years and I didn't even know his own birthday. Sakura scolded herself. Really? Hinata asked, her eyes went wide. How did I not know, she asked herself. Yup, he turns 10 tomorrow, but good luck trying to find him. Anyway, I have to go get ready for the final exam. See you guys later, Sasuke said as he waved them goodbye. Good luck trying to find him? Sakura tried to find the meaning behind Sasuke's words. What did he mean by that? Hinata asked. I don't know, but I bet my gift will be better than yours. Sakura challenged. Ha! Fat chance, my gift will be so much better than yours that Naruto will forget all about yours and then he'll be all mine. Hinata replied. What is it, Kia? Naruto asked. He was right behind the Kyuubi as they raced back to the Namake's estate. Kia sighed. Tomorrow is your birthday, kid, Kia replied. Naruto's eyes went wide as the realization hit him. So soon? I'm afraid so. Naruto's expression dropped tremendously. What are you going to do? Naruto asked. Kia was deep in thought. I have school tomorrow, I can't skip. No, you can't, but you can't go outside either, Kia said. Maybe Iruka can Shurishin you to school tomorrow, Kia suggested. The Namake's compound came into view as they drew ever nearer towards it. Later that night, Iruka, Naruto, and Kia were all sitting in the living room. Kia and Iruka were playing shogi while Kia had Naruto study from scrolls containing secret jutsu, and others containing vital knowledge. Kia, am I done yet? Naruto asked as he looked up from a scroll. Nope, Kia replied. Check, she told Iruka, who had a dumbfounded look on his face. What? Iruka explained as he looked at the board. Naruto mumbled something about his brain turning to mush as he continued his studies. Iruka took his turn. When he looked up, Kia had a victorious smirk on her face. Checkmate, Kia said as she trapped Iruka's king with her queen. Oh, and by the way, can you Shurishin Naruto to the academy with you tomorrow? Sure, I guess, why? Iruka asked. He looked up and just by looking at the expression in her eyes he knew the answer. It won't be a problem, Iruka said with a smile. The Hokage was in his office like he usually was. However, Kakashi and his ANBU team were there with him. They looked at the Hokage. Kakashi was the only one not wearing his ANBU mask. The Hokage was dressed in his usual attire. You wish to see us, Lord Hokage? Kakashi asked. The rest of his team was silent as they stood behind him. Yes, Kakashi, I was actually hoping that you would become a sensei for this year's Genin, the Hokage said. Kakashi had a shocked face. But Lord Hokage, who will guard Naruto if we're not there? Naruto will be fine, don't worry. But thank you for bringing up my second point, Kakashi. You see, as Naruto no longer needs 24-hour ANBU protection, I want to inform you that you may stop keeping surveillance. Yes sir, Lord Hokage, Kakashi said as he bowed to the Hokage. His team followed suit. Kakashi turned to face them. You guys go get some rest. If you're close to being as tired as I am, then you must be exhausted. His team nodded to him, and then they each Shurishined away, leaving Kakashi and Sarutobi. Kakashi, there's a reason I want you to become a sensei to this year's Genin. The last of the Uchiha will be graduating soon, and you're the only one who can help him with his Sharingan, the Hokage said. Kakashi nodded in understanding. That's not the only reason, is it? No, you are also one of the very few people that the Kyuubi will allow Naruto without watching you at every given moment, and that slim trust was earned by you keeping guard over the boy for close to 5 years now. So Naruto and Sasuke will be placed on the same team? Yes, if both of them graduate, they will be placed on the same team due to their outstanding cooperation. I see, well I guess I accept your offer, Lord Hokage, Kakashi said respectfully. Sarutobi nodded with approval. Good, now go get some rest. The next morning Mizuki went through his daily routine, except that today was a special day for him. Today is the day that Demon finally dies, Mizuki exclaimed to himself as he finished getting ready for the day. Now to put my plan into action, he said with a smirk. With that he Shurishined off to the academy. When he arrived he already found Iruka sitting at the desk, which was usual, but what was unusual was that Naruto was there as well. Naruto sat in his seat. He had a nervous expression on his face, and seemed quite fidgety for some reason. Enjoy your last day alive, Demon, Mizuki thought to himself. There, all done, Sakura said as she finished wrapping a present with red wrapping paper and a pink bow. She smiled as she picked it up and made her way to the front door of her home. Mom, Dad, I'm off to school now, bye, she said as she went out the door. Let's see whose present is better now, Hinata, Sakura thought to herself. She treated Hinata's name as if it were a joke. She continued to make her way to the academy. Hinata was already walking to the academy. She had a confident look on her face as she thought about the day. Sakura, I can guarantee that my present is going to be so much better than yours. You should have given up a long time ago, Hinata thought to herself. Hinata didn't have to walk as far to the academy, and within a few minutes the building was in sight. Chapter 11. Naruto sat in his seat quietly as Mizuki appeared. He kept taking nervous glosses out the window. Outside he could see people talking amongst themselves, almost as if planning for something. I don't feel safe here, Kia. What if they come inside and try to hurt me? Naruto asked the QB through his thoughts. Don't worry, they won't, and if they do, then your classmates are going to see what fighting is really like, she replied. Besides, Irika is there, you'll be fine. Naruto felt a little more relaxed, but he was still very fidgety. Calm down, Naruto. The next person to show up was Sasuke, who took his place next to Naruto. Happy birthday, he said. Naruto nearly jumped. How did you know? Naruto whispered. I read the calendar last time I was over, Sasuke said as if it was nothing. Naruto sighed. Here, Sasuke said as he handed Naruto a long box. What's this for? Naruto asked as he picked up the box. You've got to be kidding me. You mean you've never gotten a birthday present before? Sasuke asked in disbelief. Naruto shook his head. Sasuke face-palmed. Just open it. Naruto opened the box and picked up a shuriken that looked like a windmill. Then he pulled out 2 small sealing scrolls. He gave Sasuke a questioning glance. It'll help with carrying things, Sasuke said. Thanks, Naruto said with a genuine smile as he sealed the shuriken into one of the scrolls and put both of them into his weapons pouch. During their conversation, Shikamaru, Shino, Kiba, Choji, and Ino had arrived. By the time class was about to start, the only 2 missing were Hinata and Sakura. Lord Hokage, an Anbu said as he appeared behind the Hokage. Sarutobi was standing on the rooftop above his office. He was staring off over the village. The Anbu wore a normal uniform with a plain white and red mask on. Yes? The Hokage replied. We cannot find Naruto Uzumaki in the village, he replied, almost with a sense of worry. Rumors of Naruto's secret guardian had spread all throughout the ranks, including her knack for finding out who was responsible for Naruto's harm. What should we do? You don't need to worry, Naruto is at the academy, and under watchful eyes. If anything happens, we will know, Sarutobi reassured the captain. He sighed out of relief. Is there anything else? It seems that the village is forming search parties, and if things go as they do every year, Naruto will have to be kept out of sight. I thought so, set up a perimeter around the academy. No one gets in without proper clearance. Yes, sir, Lord Hokage. The Anbu said as he saluted before jumping away. Sakura was almost to the academy. She could see the academy just down the street. On her way she noticed that the villagers seemed riled up for some reason, but she dismissed it, thinking it was unimportant. I hope Naruto likes his present, Sakura thought to herself with a blush. She cradled the package in her arms as if it were gold. Instantly an Anbu ninja appeared, completely startling the pink-haired girl. What are you doing here? The Anbu said in a feminine voice. The Anbu had long purple hair, but all else was hidden by her mask and uniform. I won't ask again, now answer me. I was just on my way to the academy, Sakura said with a hint of fear in her voice. The Anbu remained stationary. Why? Was all she replied with. Because I go to school there, and it's Naruto's birthday, Sakura said as her voice grew more strong. The Anbu pulled out her sword. You will not get any further than this, you will not hurt Naruto Uzumaki. Now turn around and go home. The Anbu yelled. Tears began to appear in Sakura's eyes as she was overcome with fear. Stop! A familiar voice said. Sakura looked to her side to see Guy. The Anbu still stood stationary. Sakura Haruno is one of the students at the academy, and is one of Naruto's friends, she means him no harm. Trust me on this, Guy said. The Anbu put her sword away. You'd best be right, or else we'll all pay, she said, then she jumped away. Well, Sakura, we best be going. You don't want to be late, Guy said with a smirk. Yes, Guy-sensei, Sakura said as they began walking down the street. Guy-sensei? Yes? What is it with today? Why is the village in an uproar? Why are all the ninja on edge? Why is Naruto so important? And why is it always on this day? Sakura asked. Well, to put it all simply, it's because it's Naruto's birthday, which just so happens to be on the same day the Kyuubi attacked the village. What does that have to do with Naruto? That's not my place to say, Guy said. Well, here we are, now get to class, you don't want to keep the power of youth waiting. And with that, Guy was gone. That was weird, Guy-sensei seemed a little uneasy. But why is everyone so jumpy today? Sakura thought to herself. Then the encounter with the Anbu came back to her. Why would I hurt Naruto? By the time Sakura arrived, she was just barely on time. Hinata was sitting in her usual seat in front of Naruto with a smirk on her face. Now that you're here, I can give Naruto his present. Hinata thought to herself. She was about to turn around and face Naruto, but Iruka and Mizuki stepped in front of the class. HMPF. Hinata huffed disappointed. Sakura took her seat next to Ino behind Naruto. Sasuke leaned his head back and whispered to Sakura. Hey Sakura, keep Naruto's birthday a secret, okay? He freaked out earlier, he said. Sakura nodded. Then Sasuke repeated the same thing with Hinata, who regrettably agreed. Okay, today you'll be taking a written exam, Iruka said. His words were greeted with a loud whining sigh, causing the teachers to sweat drop. Hey, it's the last one you'll have to take here, so cheer up. With that, he and Mizuki began to hand out the tests. This stuff is easy, Sakura said to herself. This is simple, Hinata thought. I don't know why they're testing us on this, Sasuke thought with a smirk. Troublesome, Shikamaru thought. Kia, are you going to help me out here? Naruto asked. I didn't make you study for nothing. Besides, you know all of the answers, Kia replied. Surprisingly, the exam lasted for a long time. When everybody finally finished, they were instructed to wait outside until the rest of the class finished. Naruto purposefully made it so he was the last one to finish. Wow, the villagers sure seem to be riled up today, Hinata said as she took seats next to her friends. Sasuke, Sakura, and Hinata were sitting in the grass under one of the trees, and were relaxing in the shade. It was a very warm day, especially in October. I don't know why, but it's probably not important. What I want to know is why is Naruto so jumpy about his birthday? He makes it seem like a curse or something, Sasuke said. Sakura perked her head up after hearing about Naruto's strange behavior. It's weird, but there are ninja all over the place, she said. Obviously, this is the Hidden Leaf Village, Sasuke said sarcastically. That's not what I meant, Sakura snapped. That got everyone's attention. On my way to school I got stopped by an ANBU ninja. When I mentioned Naruto, she tensed. It was scary. What to explain that a little better? Hinata asked. After Sakura glared at Hinata, she explained what happened in full detail. That's interesting, Shikamaru said as he approached the trio. ANBU don't usually get involved with village affairs unless it's important. But if it's just Naruto's birthday, I don't see what the big deal is. If it's about the Kyuubi, the villagers have no reason to attack Naruto. After all, the fourth Hokage destroyed the Kyuubi, remember? He said. That's right, but this still makes no sense, Sasuke added. Oh well, if you asked me, it would be too troublesome to get involved. It's not even our problem, Shikamaru said as he laid down in the grass and started to watch the clouds. Both Sakura and Hinata sent disapproving glares towards the lazy cloud watcher. Sasuke simply dismissed it as he turned his attention back to the restless village. Okay, I'm done, Iruka-sensei, Naruto said as he handed Iruka his test. Iruka raised an eyebrow to Naruto. It's not like you to take this long, Naruto, Iruka said as he took the paper. Okay, go outside and spend some time with your friends, Iruka said. Naruto's face fell into a frown. Actually, Naruto is the last one to finish, so we should probably get the others back inside, Mizuki said. Iruka nodded and Mizuki got up to go get the rest of the students. After Mizuki left, Iruka looked back at Naruto. It's about today, isn't it? He asked. Naruto simply nodded his head. Hey, don't worry, everything will be alright. Iruka smiled at Naruto, causing him to smile a little. No, go back to your seat, Iruka said as he heard the door open. Naruto nodded and went back to his seat. The class resumed when everyone took their seats. The day's lesson was actually more like a preparation for what their lives will be like once they are paired into teams. They were told that each of the Jonin that will be placed as a sensei will put their team through a test to see if they are worthy to become Genin or to be sent back to the academy. After that, the class was dismissed and everyone began to file out of the academy. This is my chance, Hinata said to herself as she began to look for Naruto. However, he was nowhere to be seen. Not too far away, Sakura seemed to be facing the exact same problem. It seemed as if Naruto had disappeared. If you're looking for Naruto, he already left, Sasuke said out of normal. He seemed to be enjoying the rivalry to win over Naruto's heart. Both Sakura and Hinata went wide-eyed. What? They both exclaimed at the same time. Naruto was running across rooftops with Kia, as to try and avoid the villagers as much as possible. Naruto knew a little too well what would happen if he got cornered. Thanks, Kia, Naruto said quietly. The red-haired figure turned her head to face Naruto. For what? She asked. For being here with me. If it wasn't for you, I don't want to think about what would have happened, Naruto said. You've always been there for me, even when I didn't know it, so thank you. Kia smiled at the boy before turning her head back to their path. Don't even think about it, Kit, was all she replied with. Below them, shouts could be heard. Some such as demon or phrases such as there's the demon brat. Such talk made Kia squint her eyes and exhale out of disgust. It wasn't too long before the two of them returned to the Namake's compound, after losing the villagers. Kia quickly made clones of herself and sent them to several points of the compound to guard against unwelcome visitors like she did every year. Once they were inside, Kia stopped. Naruto, I have another technique to teach you, she said. At her words, Naruto's face pulled a 180. Really? He exclaimed out of joy. Kia nodded. She walked over to the desk she used for her own studies. She picked up a scroll and unrolled it in front of Naruto. What is this? he asked. It's a special transformation contract. When you transform, your senses and abilities will be multiplied, but my chakra may try to seep out through you, so you have to be careful. I can hold it back, but if you get in a fight, there isn't going to much I can do to stop it, Kia said. Naruto looked at the scroll. He noticed 3 names scribbled onto the contract in blood. Kia, who are these people? Naruto asked. This one is your mother, Kushina Uzumaki. As for the other ones, I don't know, Kia said. Where do I sign? Right here, but you need to sign your name in your blood, or else it won't work, Kia said. Naruto nodded and pulled out a standard kunai knife. He gently cut his finger, and signed his name before the cut quickly healed itself. Now what? He asked. Kia guided him through the hand signs and how to preform the jutsu. Okay, here it goes, spiritual transformation jutsu, Naruto said as he finished his hand signs. A puff of smoke covered Naruto. When it disappeared, all that remained was a young fox with golden fur. It stood only a foot off the ground, and had its fluffy tail raised in the air. Kia couldn't help but giggle. You really are a kid, aren't you? Kia said as she picked Naruto up. She began to pet him behind the ears. I'm a fox. No way! Naruto exclaimed. I have a tail. Naruto jumped out of Kia's grasp and began to chase his tail around. Kia laughed at his silly actions. In order to change back, all you have to do is end the jutsu, Kia said. The small fox nodded its head and in an instant turned into a puff of smoke, revealing Naruto. It's almost dark, time to step things up to stage 2, Mizuki thought to himself. He was standing outside, not far from the Hokage tower. He created a clone and sent it to the Hokage's office. Once it was close, it transformed into Naruto. It began rummaging through the Hokage's scrolls and files, but he couldn't find what he was looking for. Drat. Oh well, I can always just take a different approach, Mizuki said to himself as he ended the jutsu. He then began to make his way to the Namake's compound where Naruto was rumored to be staying. Carefully, he avoided the guards that were stationed at strategic positions. That must be Kia, Naruto's mysterious guardian, Mizuki thought to himself. After a few moments, he slipped past all of the guards. The sun had long since went down, and Mizuki was sneaking around the compound. Mizuki? What are you doing here? Iruka asked as he made his presence known. I've come to do what should have been done a long time ago. I'm going to kill the demon. Are you insane? Iruka asked as he readied himself for battle. Do you honestly think I'll let you do that? You're betraying the whole village. I don't care, the demon has to be killed or else this whole village will suffer. Mizuki threw several shuriken at Iruka, who dodged them. Iruka responded by blocking the shuriken with his kunai knife. I don't want to have to do this, Mizuki, Iruka said. Naruto was practicing his new transformation technique in his room. Kia had long since sent him to bed, but that didn't stop him from trying to train. Suddenly the smell of blood and sweat filled his nostrils. What's that? He asked himself. He transformed back into his normal self. Naruto quietly made his way outside to see what was going on. He knew if Kia caught him outside, tonight out of all nights, he would never hear the end of it. He was more cautious than he usually was. As soon as he was outside, he didn't even get a chance to look around. A giant shuriken windmill was heading straight for him. Naruto closed his eyes waiting for the inevitable, but he was shocked when he never felt the weapon make contact with him. He opened his eyes to see Iruka hunched over him, sheltering him from the shuriken that was now lodged into his back. Are you okay, Naruto? Iruka asked before falling over onto his side from the pain. Anger and guilt suddenly flooded through Naruto as tears began to stream down his cheeks. Iruka-sensei. Naruto barely managed to say out of shock. He looked up to see Mizuki simply spit to the side and smirked at the blonde boy in front of him. What a waste, I don't know why he would protect something as pathetic as you, Mizuki said. Do you know why everyone wants to kill you? It's because you're responsible for the deaths of thousands of ninja and villagers in this village. I'm going to do everyone a favor and end your worthless existence right here and now, Mizuki said as he pulled out a kunai knife and threw it at Naruto. Again, Iruka blocked the knife from hitting Naruto, only this time the knife was embedded into Iruka's torso. I won't let you kill Naruto, Mizuki, Iruka said. Blood was flowing out of Iruka's mouth. Naruto couldn't take it anymore. His rage got the best of him. Before Mizuki could make another move, Naruto got in front of Iruka. If you ever hurt my sensei again, I'll kill you, Naruto said with a growl. Mizuki laughed. What are you going to do to stop me? Mizuki asked. Shadow clone jutsu, Naruto said as he gathered a large amount of chakra. A deafening popping noise was emitted as smoke covered the entire area. When the smoke cleared, there was almost 1,000 Naruto clones surrounding Mizuki. What the? How did you? Mizuki stuttered. Iruka could only stare in amazement. You couldn't even make a single clone. How could you do all of this? Because I've been trained by the Kyuubi herself to protect those I care about from people like you, Naruto said with a low growl. Mizuki's eyes widened in terror. Trained by the Kyuubi? Then Mizuki started. The Kyuubi is free. Mizuki fell back into his fighting stance. 1 or 1,000, you're still no match for me. Think again. Naruto's clones all said at the same time as they all charged at Mizuki. Mizuki tried to defend himself from the barrage of punches and kicks, but eventually he fell. Naruto dispersed the remaining clones. Suddenly, fatigue washed over him as he realized just how much chakra he used. When he woke up, he saw Kia holding him in her arms, and Mizuki being held up by A and B units. "That was good work, Naruto," an old voice said behind Naruto. The blonde turned his head to see the Hokage standing in front of him. A medical ninja was already tending to Iruka. "I thought you were better than this, Mizuki." "Lord Hokage, the Kyuubi is free," Mizuki managed to say. "Yes, Mizuki, and she means the village no harm. She only wants to protect Naruto, who is punished for the crime she was forced to commit," the Hokage said. After that he gave the signal for Anbu to take Mizuki to the interrogation rooms. Sarutobi turned his attention back to Naruto and Kia. "I'm surprised you didn't intercept him, Kia," he said. "That's because I wanted to see how much Naruto's progressed, and he passed my test," Kia said with a smile. She turned her head down to Naruto. "Nice try trying to sneak out, but my senses are much tougher to fool than that. Besides, I knew where Mizuki was the whole time," she said as she ruffled his hair. "Well, Naruto, I think I can safely say you passed the ninja exam, even though you're a day early," Iruka said with a smile as he got back up on his feet. Naruto beamed at his sensei. Iruka took a headband from a ceiling scroll in his pocket and handed it to Naruto. "This is for you," he said as Naruto took the metal slab with the leaf insignia on it. The headband was wrapped in a dark blue cloth. "Now off to bed, kid, and if you practice that jutsu anymore tonight then I'm going to have to put you to sleep myself," Kia said as she began to carry Naruto back inside. The next day Naruto was proudly wearing his leaf headband on his way to school. He got strange looks from the villagers he passed. Some of them were shocked, others disgusted. "I can't wait to see the looks on everyone's faces when they see the headband," Naruto said to himself with a grin. Chapter 12. Naruto was running through the streets on his way to his last day of school. A large grin apparent on his face. The leaf headband was firmly wrapped around his forehead. "Wow, what a great day," Naruto said to himself. He looked around. A few villagers were out, but most were busy with their stores or homes. May as well get a little bit of training done. Naruto formed several hand signs and built up his chakra. "Spiritual transformation jutsu," he said as he disappeared in a puff of smoke. In his place was small fox with gold-colored fur and a white underbelly. He had a fluffy tail that was white at the tip. His ears were pointy and also white at the tips. From his paws to halfway up his legs were black. Altogether, he stood close to a foot off of the ground. "Hey you! Get out of here, you little pest!" A villager shouted as he began to swat at Naruto with his broom. Naruto easy dodged the broom and began running down the street. Running like this feels so much different, Naruto thought. He running almost twice as fast as he usually did due to being in his fox form. He was getting disgusted looks from the villagers now. The academy was well in sight now. "This is going to be so cool," he thought to himself, as he quietly sneaked inside through the open window. He curled up on his seat and began to take a nap as he waited for his friends. When Iruka arrived, he noticed a sleeping fox in Naruto's seat. "Kia, what did you teach him now?" Iruka asked himself. He walked over to the sleeping fox and patted it softly on the head. The fox awoke with a start. "Class is going to start soon, Naruto," Iruka said. Naruto nodded his fox head and went back to sleep. Iruka went over to his desk and arranged the papers sitting there. Next to arrive was Sasuke, who didn't even notice the sleeping fox, or at least didn't show it as he took his seat. Then Kiba came in with Akamaru on his shoulder. Upon entry, Akamaru began growling. "Akamaru? What is it, boy?" Kiba asked the little puppy. Akamaru let out a little bark and Kiba looked up to see a sleeping fox. "Oh, forget about it, Akamaru. It's just a fox," Kiba said as he took his seat. Gradually the entire class began to file in, and Akamaru continued to growl at the sleeping fox who just ignored it. Sakura walked in with her best friend Ino and took her seat. "Hey, where's Naruto?" Sakura asked as she began to look around for him. Her eyes widened as they beheld the tiny sleeping fox curled up where Naruto usually sat. Naruto only had a split second to react as Sakura's arm wrapped about his furry body and held him in a tight embrace. However, no matter how much he struggled, he couldn't break free from her grasp. "Oh, it's so cute and fluffy," Sakura said as she held the fox close to her face. Hinata turned around to see what the commotion was. She rolled her eyes and shook her head disapprovingly and turned back. "Okay, Sakura, you might want to put it down before you crush it," Ino said as she sat down. Sakura reluctantly agreed and sat the fox back down. Naruto seemed to give Ino a thankful look as he jumped up onto the desk and sat on his hind legs. He was able to see more of his surroundings, so that he won't have another repeat incident. "Okay, we're going to start with the exam then. Once everyone is done with that, those that pass will be placed in their teams," Iruka said as he rose from his chair. "Any questions before we get started?" Sasuke raised his hand. "Yes, Sasuke? Where is Mizuki-sensei?" Sasuke asked. Some of the students nodded, others just realizing that Mizuki wasn't there. "I'm afraid to say the Mizuki was unable to join us today," Iruka said solemnly. "What a drag," Shikamaru complained. "He probably just didn't want to waste his time." "We'll do this alphabetically. Shino, you're first," Iruka said as he turned to enter the back room used for testing with Shino close behind. Naruto saw this as his exit and made his way towards the window. Sakura, Ino, Kiba, Akamaru, and Sasuke all watched the fox move from Naruto's seat to the window, and then watched as it jumped out, with Akamaru growling the whole way till the fox was out of sight. You guys think Naruto will be disqualified from the exam and have to wait till next time? Kiba asked, as Akamaru calmed down. Well, he isn't here, is he? How can he take an exam if he isn't here, Kiba? Ino said matter of fact. He was here, and now just left, Sasuke said without even turning his head back to face Ino. What do you mean, Sasuke? I didn't see him at all, Kiba exclaimed. Really? Akamaru was acknowledging his presence the whole time, Sasuke answered as he pointed to the puppy. Last time I checked, Naruto wasn't a fox, Sasuke, Sakura stated. Sasuke shook his head. He was using a transformation jutsu the whole time he was here, Kiba said as he began to catch on to what Sasuke was getting at. How could it have been a transformation jutsu? Wouldn't he have changed back when Sakura gave him that hug? Ino asked. A slight blush appeared on Sakura's face as the stunt she pulled came back to her mind. I mean, she almost crushed him for crying out loud, and with Ino's last remark, the blush on Sakura's face quickly turned into a glare aimed right at Ino. It did feel real too, not like a regular transformation, Sakura added. That's what's got me thinking about it. It isn't a regular jutsu. Naruto would have turned into a real living fox, Sasuke said. Their conversation eventually moved from inside to outside as one by one they all took the exam and went outside with their new headbands. That's much better. A nice good nap without interruptions, Naruto thought to himself as he struck on a high tree branch at the academy. He saw his friends all group at their usual spot under the tree below him. He used his fox ears to hear what they were saying. They're talking about me? Naruto said to himself. He dispelled his jutsu with a puff of smoke and jumped down to see his friends. Everyone except Kiba and Sasuke jumped up in shock as Naruto jumped down from the tree branch. Naruto! What are you doing out here? Ino shouted. You'd better get inside and take the exam, Shikamaru suggested. You missed out on a lot. There was this fox in your seat, and Choji started to explain before Ino hit him on the head, causing everyone to sweat drop. I don't think that matters right now, you big dummy. Ino scolded. So when did you pass? Sasuke asked as Naruto sat down next to his friends. Last night. Why? Naruto responded. Because you weren't here earlier, Sakura said. Everyone took the exams, and now the teachers are going over the statistics to break us up into teams. But what about that weird jutsu you used earlier, Naruto? Shikamaru asked. I don't know what you're talking about, Naruto answered flatly. I just got here, he lied. Most of his friends took the bait, except for Sasuke, who knew Naruto better than that. As a group they all went inside to get their team numbers and the name of their individual Genin instructors when the teachers came to get them. They all went to their usual spots and waited to be called. Okay, Team 1 will consist of, Iruka started as he began to call students 3 at a time to get their teams organized. Naruto leaned back as he patiently waited. Sasuke had his usual calm attitude. But Sakura seemed to be on edge. I hope I'm on Naruto's team, she inwardly hoped. 2 rows ahead of her, Hinata seemed to be in a similar fit of anxiety. I better be on Naruto's team. Or at least Sakura better not be on his team. Oh Kami, please put me on his team. Hinata prayed. At least a few days' worth of traveling away from Konoha stood Kia. Rather than running, she shurashined to the spot. She looked over what remained of the village hidden in the whirlpools. Kia had visited almost 3 years ago when she first heard about the fate of her home village, but this time she was here for something different. She began to walk down the empty streets. Eventually she came to the center of the village where 2 figures were waiting for her. One of the figures was a girl with short blue hair. She wore a blue and black cloak. Her pale skin gave her calm face away from under her hood. The other figure had spiky red hair and wore samurai armor. His arms were folded across his chest. He had a look of seriousness on his face. Thank you for coming, Kia said to the 2 figures, as she bowed to them. You don't know how much it means to me. Kyubi, drop the formality, we work as one, remember? The woman said. It is our responsibility as Bijou to keep balance, and something strange indeed did happen here, the man said. Very well then, Nibi Yambi, what do you think happened here? The Kyubi asked. Next is Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka, and Choji Akimichi under Asuma Saratobi for Team 6, Iruka said. Up front, a man with the Leafs Jonin vest, shinobi pants, and a cigarette in his mouth raised his hand, signaling who he was. On his waist was a cloth with the insignia of the Leafs daimyo. He had a small beard growing on his chin and a look of confidence on his face. Next is Naruto Uzumaki. Iruka started causing Naruto to finally start paying attention. Sakura Harino, Iruka continued. Sakura smiled broadly while Hinata inwardly cursed. And Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke didn't move at all. Under Kakashi Hatake, Iruka said. None of the Jonin had signaled themselves out like before. After 2 more teams were called out, and their prospective Jonin instructors identified. Iruka called out the last team. Finally, we have Kiba Inuzuka, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburame, under Kurenai Yuhi for Team 10, Iruka said as Kurenai stepped forward. She wore a white kimono that had black stripes running side to side. The right arm on her kimono was covered with red cloth. She had long black hair and red eyes. Alright, that's everyone. Now if you would please go with your prospective Genin instructors, Irika said as he stepped to the side. One by one the new teams began to file out of the classrooms and have a meeting with their prospective instructors. It could have been a war between another village, suggested the Nibi. No, wars are much more destructive than this. Look around you, the village has no signs of death. It's almost as if no one ever lived here, the Yambi said. But there are definitely signs of fighting, the QB added. The other two Bija nodded their heads in agreement. Kia sat down, with her legs crossed, arms folded and an irritated face. At first I thought it would be one of the disciples of Kami, she said. Maybe, they do have the ability to do something like this. But they are loyal to us Bija and help try to balance the world. Why would they do something like this? The Yambi said. Maybe they were attacked, the Nibi suggested. Unlikely, that lead to why they would attack a disciple, who are peacekeepers, the QB said. No Bija or Jinchuriki was attacked, causing them to take action, the Yambi said. Kia shifted her position slightly. The Nibi took notice of this. Is there something wrong, QB? She asked. 10 years ago, I was somehow manipulated by Madara into attacking the Hidden Leaf village. Theirs was sealed, ironically, into my Jinchuriki, Kia said with a sigh. The Nibi's eyes widened. You mean you found your Jinchuriki? Congratulations. All that's left is sand by now, and we all know how slow he is, the Nibi said jokingly. Even though I wanted to kill Madara, I felt like I had to thank him. That's why the second time I saw him, I didn't just kill him on the spot, the QB continued. That might provoke one of the disciples, but enough to destroy an entire village? The Yambi said. This is all very confusing. I thought all of the disciples were killed, all 7 of them. The newly formed Team 7 was sitting all alone in the classroom. Even Irika left. Naruto began to entertain himself by creating a clone and began playing shogi against the clone. Sakura was switching her gaze between the clock, the outside world, and her teammates. Sasuke hadn't moved from the position he had been in since everyone was dismissed. When the clock almost came to 3 p.m., the door finally began to creak open. A tall man with spiky white hair, a mask covering much of his face, and his headband covering his left eye poked his head through the door. He wore a regular Genin combat vest and shinobi pants. He had a weapon holster strapped to his leg, and another on his back. Yo, he said as he made his way inside. Sorry I'm late. A black cat crossed my path so I had to go all the way around the village in order to get here, he explained. Yeah right, Naruto said as he dispelled his clone. Anyway, I'm Kakashi Hatake, and I'm going to be your new sensei, Kakashi said with a smile, even though all you could see was his right eye. Now then, let's get somewhere with more fresh air, he said as he turned and walked out, with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura close behind. The 4 of them went to near the top of the academy. They stood near a balcony. Okay, let's hear some proper introductions, Kakashi said to the 3 kids in front of him. Isn't it customary for the teacher to introduce themselves first? Sakura asked. Fair enough, I'm Kakashi Hatake. My likes are my business, my hobbies are none of your concern, and my dreams for the future, I don't have any. Now it's your turn, Kakashi said. He smiled at the students in front of him as they stood dumbfounded by their instructor's simplicity. I'll start, Naruto said as he stepped forward. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I like my friends, Kia, ramen, and training. My hobbies are training, eating ramen, and spending time with my friends. My dreams for the future, I'm gonna be the next Hokage. Naruto said as he gave his teacher a thumbs up. Just what I expected from Naruto. Is Kia anywhere near here? I feel eyes watching me. Oh wait, students, that's right, Kakashi reassured himself. Okay, you next, he said as he pointed towards Sasuke. I'm Sasuke Uchiha. My likes are training and friends, my hobbies, training, and my dreams for the future, to kill a certain someone and restore my clan, Sasuke said without much emotion. Kakashi nodded and pointed towards Sakura. I'm Sakura Haruno. My likes are my friends, my hobbies are spending time with friends, my dreams for the future. I want to be a great kunoichi like the legendary Sannin Tsunade, Sakura said with confidence. Okay, now that that's out of the way, meet at Training Ground 7 at 10 a.m. sharp tomorrow. Oh, and don't eat any breakfast, you'll just end up puking it back up, Kakashi said. Till then, bye, he said as he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Well, see you guys, I'm gonna head home, Naruto said as he jumped off the balcony and began racing across rooftops to his home. Kia immediately jolted on the spot. The other 2 took notice of her actions. Is everything okay, Kyubi? Yambi asked. Yeah, it's just Naruto, Kia answered. Your Jinchuriki? Nibi asked. Kia nodded. Well, you'd best go then, don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this. Say hi to him for me, Nibi said with a wave. Be safe, Kyubi, both you and your Jinchuriki, Yambi said with a bow. I will, Kei said before she shuoshined back to Konoha. She appeared back at the Namake's estate just in time. Kia! Guess what? Naruto exclaimed as he burst through the door. Chapter 13. At 10 a.m. the next morning Team 7 was waiting outside the entrance to Training Ground 7. All the members of the team were there with the exception of their Genin instructor. As time continued to pass by, Kakashi still had not arrived, giving Naruto time to mull over the things he was told the previous day. When Naruto returned home and told Kia about his day, she scolded him. Naruto, don't use that transformation technique unless you really need to, especially when around people. It's dangerous. If my chakra was to leak through to you, you may have lost control and turned into a tailed fox. She had scolded. Among other things, she told the blonde to be especially careful when going outside the village for any missions that he may have to take outside of it. When Naruto mentioned Kakashi's recommendation not to eat breakfast in the morning, she laughed and told him to ignore his words. So, the 3 students of Team 7 waited patiently for their sensei. But Naruto continued to grow tired of waiting, and since Kia forbade him from transforming into a fox around people, he couldn't train to hone his fox senses. Sakura began amusing herself by reading a small book she pulled from her weapons pouch. Sasuke merely barred with the boredom, sticking his hands in his pockets, and leaning up against the fence. After what felt like ages, they finally saw Kakashi casually make his way over to them. Excellent, you're all here, shall we get started? He asked in a monotone voice, his emotions cloaked by his covered face. Kakashi-sensei, I don't mean to be rude, but what made you so late? Sakura asked. Oh, well, you see, I took this long detour on the road here and it took me down the path of life, and Kakashi started. Yeah, whatever, Sasuke cut him off. Let's just get started already. Very well then, follow me, Kakashi said, leading them into the training ground. He stopped in the center where 3 human-sized posts rested. Surrounding the small clear area was a forest, with a steady stream winding its way through. Birds flew from their trees as the 4 strangers approached. Okay, Kakashi said as he turned to face his prospective students. He studied each of their faces, serious, but with a glimmer of excitement and hope in their eyes. He liked that, these kids had spunk. He reached into his weapons pouch and pulled out 2 bells. The bells, simple, held by a red string, gave a soft jingle as they moved. This is your objective. If you can take these bells from me, then you pass and officially become Genin. If not, then you go back to the academy and get to try again next time. A confident smirk appeared on Naruto's face, on Sakura's a cautious look, and Sasuke's expression had no emotion. You have till noon, and then we'll take a break, Kakashi said as he also pulled out a small alarm clock and set it on a small stump in front of the 3 posts. Good luck, and with that he was gone in a puff of smoke. Naruto immediately made a straight charge for the cover of the forest. Sakura observed the area around her, and soon followed in a different direction. Sasuke took note of the 2 directions his teammates went in, and went down the center between the 2 of them. Kia observed the entire thing from atop of the Hokage's tower. She watched as the 3 kids charged into the forest after the instructor who baited them into a trap. The part that the kids failed to realize was not that their sensei was in the forest, but that he was behind them the whole time, using shadow clones. But she knew she trained Naruto better than to think that he would use just 1 clone. As if it just hit her upside the head, she suddenly realized what Naruto was doing. He really likes turning into a fox, she mused to herself. Naruto found a thick group of bushes as he raced through the trees. Sure that he was alone, and not being followed, he quickly made his hand signs and transformed. In a puff of smoke he became a young fox. His golden fur and white underbelly fur were clean and soft to the touch. His tail twitched and his ear flicked, as he was getting reacquainted with his other form. Once his warm-up was completed, he tried listening and smelling for his instructor, primarily for the jingle of the bells. At first, he heard nothing, and then as if it were a whisper he heard it. Louder and louder it became, as if coming to him. Kakashi wasn't being pursued, he was pursuing them, and they had to either somehow get the jump on him in an ambush or take the bells by force. As soon as Naruto made this realization, he let off a small growl and dove into the bushes. As far as he knew, his sensei didn't know about his new transformation technique, and that was something he could use to his advantage. But he was dismayed. His golden and white fur stuck out like an eyesore compared to the brown and green around him. Knowing he'd regret it later, Naruto rolled around in the dirt until his clean fur was covered in dirt and mud. Now that he was better camouflaged, Naruto began trying to hone in on the incoming sound of the bells, but what he noticed startled him. Instead of a single steady rhythm of the chimes, he heard a sort of echo, as if there were a second set. Clones, he reasoned. Kakashi-sensei is hunting us with clones, which means that he is probably not participating in the attack himself and is just observing from somewhere nearby. But where? Sasuke lost track of Naruto a while back, but he could still see Sakura in his peripheral vision. If they could stick together, they would stand a much better chance at getting those bells from Kakashi. He was about to approach Sakura about his idea when he saw Kakashi sitting with what looked like a book in his hand. Letting his confidence get the better of him, he attacked Kakashi while he was distracted. Throwing a single kunai knife, Sasuke jumped off of the branch he was standing on and made to come from a different angle to try and confuse the Jonin. His attempt proved fruitless. As soon as Sasuke jumped to the branch adjacent to the one he was intercepted by Kakashi. Quickly looking back, he saw as his kunai soared through a translucent clone of the white-haired man. Shinobi battle tactics number 1: if expecting an ambush, plant a trap instead, he said. Sasuke began racing through hand signs, took a deep breath and bellowed, fire style, fireball jutsu. Placing his index finger and thumb together at his mouth, he breathed a firestorm at Kakashi. Just as Sasuke launched his attack, he launched another kunai knife into the firestorm he had created. Taking another leap to another branch, his foot was caught in a trap as he landed, sending him into the sky as he was held in the air by trip wires. Faint sounds of combat reached the Kunoichi's ears as she tried to relocate her teammates. If they were expected to beat their Genin instructor alone, then whoever came up with this crazy test was insane. She turned to the direction of the sounds and began to close in. She saw a bunch of leaves soar past her, but swore she couldn't feel any wind. Stopping on the closest branch, she began to check her surroundings. Nothing, everything seemed at peace. That, she knew, wasn't the case. So the pink-haired kunoichi began recounting the lessons they had on detecting and removing genjutsus. She remembered that a genjutsu plays off of a person's senses, making them believe something is or is not there. She also remembered that they could be dispelled either by causing yourself pain, or by disrupting the flow of chakra going through your body. A simple jolt could do it. So Sakura simply put her hands into a hand sign, and prepared a small flux in her chakra system. Release, she said as she released her chakra. She suddenly felt better, as she could feel the wind brushing against her. When she opened her eyes, she wished she hadn't. In front of her lay both Sasuke and Naruto, covered in kunai, cuts and bruises. Blood staining the branch they lay on, unmoving. Sakura lost control and screamed. Kakashi walked up behind her. Shinobi Battle Tactics No. 2, try to use your opponent's fears against them, and or capture them in a genjutsu rendering them incapable of fighting, he said as he landed a blow to the back of her head, knocking the kunoichi unconscious. Naruto continued to hide in the bushes, making absolutely no sound, unmoving. Just listening, Naruto heard sounds of fighting, and a scream, but whether or not it was a trap or real he didn't know. He wanted to go and try and help his teammates, but if he did he would almost certainly be seen and intercepted by the clones. Already he heard 4 different sets of bells, he assumed all 4 were clones. 2 sets kept getting louder, and began to come from different directions. They're looking for me, Naruto realized. He thought that if he could fool them, then he could slip under Kakashi's radar undetected, possibly follow the clones back to Kakashi and surprise him, or he find and help his friends. He was at a loss to which one he could do. If he confronted the real Kakashi, he make all the clones disperse by landing a good hit on the Genin, but at the same time that would make all of his chakra return to him, and Naruto knew he would stand no chance. Teamwork, he reasoned, would be better, but first he would have to lose those bloody clones. Naruto held his breath as a Kakashi clone landed just meters away from his hiding spot. The Genin looked around lazily as if expecting to be jumped at any second. The clone said as if thinking of something. It began to walk over toward where Naruto was hiding. The tracks lead this way. The figure stopped in front of the bush, and began to try and push his way through. On his way he stepped on Naruto's tail by accident, causing the fox to emit a painful yelp, betraying his location. When the Kakashi clone looked down to see the fox, he bent down and patted it on the head. "I'm sorry about that, little guy," he said. The moment the Genin's foot rose from the tail, Naruto bolted out of there as quick as he could. The Genin watched the fox run off, and then continued his search as if that incident never happened. Naruto ended his transformation technique once he put a fair amount of distance between himself and the clones. Now that I'm under the radar, I got to go find the others, Naruto decided. He had already got a general feel for where he suspected they were, or where the ambushes were set. He decided to scope them out before proceeding into them. He found Sakura first. He tried sensing Sakura's chakra, as Kia taught him to do in case he was separated from his squad mates. "I wish I'd tried this before, that way I could recognize her chakra," Naruto grumbled to himself. Her chakra felt thin, like a small creek compared to the vast ocean that Kia had. Still, he reasoned that it was too small for Kakashi, even with shadow clones. As he approached the prone figure, he gently set his hand on her shoulder, and sent a jolt of chakra through her body, to dispel her if she was a clone, or to wake her. After the jolt, the prone pink-haired kunoichi stirred. "And Naruto?" she asked as she opened up her eyes. "Yeah, it's me, Sakura. I think you must have been hit by a genjutsu or something. I remember one, but I must have fallen straight into another," she reasoned. "Come on, we gotta go find Sasuke," Naruto said as he already led the way. Sasuke wasn't too far away. The two of them found him hanging upside down from a wire. Already the Uchiha was trying to cut the rope with a shuriken, seeing as how he had no knives left. "Sasuke, need help?" Naruto asked just loud enough to be heard. "Yeah, that'd be great, so what are you waiting for?" Sasuke replied. With a goofy grin, Naruto threw a kunai knife and cut the wire. Sasuke recovered his balance in the fall and landed on his feet. "What's the plan?" "We'll just get slaughtered if we work by ourselves." "Well, what I noticed was that Kakashi-sensei used clones to try and pick all of us off, but I managed to avoid mine and came to find you guys," Naruto spoke as he led them out of the forest to the stream. "Then how do we know you're not Kakashi-sensei trying to lead us into a trap?" Sasuke asked. The three of them came to an abrupt halt. "Ask me something only I would know then?" Naruto replied. Sasuke thought about it for a moment. "Inside the Namake's compound, which room do I use?" Sasuke asked. "The room on the east wing at the end of the hall on the right," Naruto answered. "Works for me," Sasuke answered. "What about you, Sakura? Where do we usually hang out as a group when we're not in class?" "Under the large oak tree at the academy," Sakura answered. Sasuke nodded his head. "Now it's your turn. What book do I always read when I finish my work in class?" That gaudy romance book with the red cover?" Sasuke answered. "Hey! It's not gaudy. But yes, Sakura answered. I think we need a code word that only the three of us will understand to prove who we are. How about foxhole? Naruto suggested. The other two group members nodded in approval and continued their escape. As the three arrived at the stream, they began cleaning the dirt and sweat off of them, and also to try and erase their scent. Okay, so what's the plan? Sasuke asked. Well, when I made a break for the forest, I decided to try and loop around in case I was being followed. I waited and listened for the sounds of the bells. I heard them, but I heard different sets from different directions at the same time, so he must have been using clones. Most likely shadow clones because they are solid, Naruto began. Which means the real Kakashi-sensei probably wasn't there at all, Sakura said as she began catching on. Which means he probably wasn't in the forest at all, Sasuke added. So what do we do now? Well, what happened when you encountered the clones? Naruto asked. The group discussed what happened when they were confronted and how they were defeated. Okay, so basically one-on-one matches are a big no, and it is easy for him to counter any one of us at any time, Sakura examined. So we have to hit him hard all at the same time, with a different fighting style. I'll take taijutsu, Sasuke you take ninjutsu, and Sakura you take genjutsu, agreed? The two teammates agreed to the plan. So where do we find him? Sasuke asked. I have an idea, Naruto said with a smirk. Kakashi sat on the stump in the middle of the field next to the three posts. Almost noon, he mused to himself. He managed to use his clones to take out both Sasuke and Sakura, dispelling the clones afterwards to bring him the knowledge of the skirmishes. But Naruto proved difficult. He could have sworn he saw Naruto head in one direction, yet the tracks came to a complete stop, and only a fox remained in their place. At first, the Genin thought it was a transformation, so he accidentally stepped on its tail. The fox proved real though, it did not turn into Naruto, which meant that he was still out there, but it bothered him. Foxes, like other animals, with the exception of birds, are rare in training fields such as this one. A substitution perhaps? Either way, the team split itself up and did not function properly as a single unit. Sasuke tried to keep them both in view, he noticed, but it fell apart when Naruto disappeared. He'd give them a second chance at lunch, and if they failed that, then they could pray to hope to get the bells afterwards. Suddenly the whistling sound of a knife in the air caught his attention, jumping just as it struck the stump next to where he was. Oh, there's Naruto, Kakashi said to himself as he saw the blonde charging towards him. He let the prospective student close the distance, then prepared to stop his advance. Just as he was about to punch the boy, Sasuke jumped from behind him, jutsu already prepared. Fire style, fireball jutsu. The Uchiha shouted. A fireball spewed from the boy's mouth and raced towards the Genin. Kakashi quickly leapt above the fireball, only to get brushed by a sudden gust of leaves. He quickly dispelled the genjutsu he knew they tried to place on him, only to meet Naruto's hand inches from the bells. With a swift kick, Naruto hit the ground hard, Sasuke just right behind Kakashi as soon as he hit Naruto. A diversion, he suddenly realized. A swift elbow to the face knocked Sasuke back. A kunai knife suddenly zipped by and cut the string with the bells. The two silver spheres began to fall towards the ground. Naruto was already set ready to get them, but Kakashi landed on the ground and ran through hand signs faster than Naruto had ever seen. Earth style, sand trap jutsu, he said. The ground under Naruto turned into slick sand, causing the blonde to sink waist deep. Kakashi caught the bells just before they hit the ground. Sakura was already next to Naruto helping him out of the sand while Sasuke charged with shuriken in his hands. Suddenly appearing behind Sasuke, Kakashi grabbed the boy and threw him at his teammates. He's way too fast, Sasuke thought to himself. The three students crashed and landed in a heap a few feet away. Okay, what's plan B? Sasuke asked as they rose to their feet. The sound of the alarm clock going off cut off all thoughts and speech. Well, I guess that's it, Kakashi said. He sat down on the stumps and looked at the three prospective students. To be honest, you three are like no other group I've tested before. Naruto swallowed the lump in his throat and dared to ask. Is that a good thing? Well, depends on how you look at it. On one end, you failed to see the true test at the beginning of the exercise, but now here at the end you've managed to try your best at it, Kakashi said. Sakura was about to pose a question, but the Genin beat her to it. The purpose of the exam was to get you three to work as a team rather than individually. At first you all just took off, but as the exam progressed, you worked together as a team. You're the first group to ever get this far in the first part of this exam. That's what sets you apart from every other group. They all tried to work individually, ultimately failing. Then I would have offered lunch to two of the members, leaving the third to starve. Afterwards they would try again, but always fail because the third member would be unable to give it their all, Kakashi explained. So I guess to put it simply, you passed with flying colors. Really? Naruto shouted excitedly. Sasuke gave a victorious smirk, while Sakura smiled a happy smile. Yup, as of now, you three are officially Genin, and Team 7 starts missions tomorrow. But as for right now, how about I treat you three to lunch? Kakashi suggested. His new students eagerly accepted. What if Naruto turns into a nine-tailed fox kit? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel. And leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.